hit the loop like an idiot. I swear down. Right, big up everybody. We're back. Only 8 minutes late today, so that's actually pretty early by my standards. But welcome back to the channel. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. Hit the likes, subscribe, all of that crap on your way into the channel. Sub to everybody's channels. The link is in the description below. And it's good to be back. It's good to be back after another win. It's good to be back. We're doing another match preview. We're going to touch on the Brighton game. Going to touch on a couple of the transfer news as well. But I don't know if has anyone got any background noise. Anyone hear that? Is that me? I think it's gone now. Anyway, but yeah, big up to everyone that's locked in. Sub to everybody's channels. The link is down in the description below. And it's great to be back. We did take a little day off yesterday, birthday tax and all of that. Shout out to CFC Muck, my G. And yeah, it's good to be back. Javon, what are you saying, my guy? Welcome back to the channel, bro.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Hope everyone's good. Ready to get into the chat. Ready to get into the discussion. Ready to get started.
Let's go. Guni as well. What are you telling me, bro?
Yeah, man, it's good to be back. Big up everyone in the chat, everyone in the panel. You know what I mean? Up the Chelsea. Good to see us getting points up on the board and that. So I'm sure there's a lot to discuss on the show. Subscribe, people. Thumbs up and all that good stuff.
Real shit. And also everyone sub to Mando's Football, sub to Javon's channel, sub to Celsius Europe and to Casually FC in the description below, my guys. Andrew, what are you saying, my guy? Hope everything's good.
Yeah, man, it's all good. I'm getting bored of talking positively about Chelsea. You know what I mean? It's boring now. But no, I'm joking. It's all good, man. Just another. I don't know what we're going to discuss a lot of things, but it's all seems positive all of a sudden. Just want to keep it going. Do you know what I mean? I hate there's an international break after these set of weekend fixtures, because it's just one of those things. But we have to deal with it. But I'm all good, man. Here to talk some good things about Chelsea.
See, that's already one positive. For the first time in ages, we're sitting here like, I don't want no international break. Little steps forward. Last but not least, CB. What are you telling me, my bro? Good to have you back on the channel.
Bro, thanks for having me on here, man. I'm feeling good, man. Another week, we're still in the title race. We can talk about titles. The standards are high, man. That's what I like to hear. Hopefully, we can just maintain it. This is our last week, maybe, where we can go into games and we're not nervous. We know, okay, we should handle Forest, because after that, that's when it starts getting dicey. So let's bring it on, man.
It's a title race.
Yeah, I mean, the title race.
What are you saying?
For me, I'm as a Chelsea fan every year of my life, barring the even last season, to be honest, I was talking title just off the fact we finished 10th before and then had no Europe and we won the league. So I'll say every year I've been a Chelsea fan, I've expected to win the title. That's not changing now. So, and the way things are going, I don't see why not, man. 2 points off top, just have to keep it going.
See, here's my thing. I get it because we're there now, but I need to see us do it against the title contenders first. Just if you can get good games out of the Liverpools, out of the Arsenals, with the results as well, then maybe we could talk a little bit like that. I don't know. I feel like it's setting ourselves up for something so far. Javon, what are you thinking?
No, bro. One game at a time. Move in silence. One game at a time. Everybody, the media, the pundits, written us off. They didn't even expect us to finish nowhere near the top 4 or 5. Keep it that way. Keep the same energy. We move in silence. One game at a time. We have to remember it's a manager's first season, so we don't know if there's a rough period to be had and how he's going to handle that rough period. So I don't want to get everyone's hopes up, and then when the rough period comes, everyone's back to shitting on the Chelsea like we didn't just have 5-6 weeks of good momentum, both manager-wise, both team-wise, and both results-wise. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
one game at a
100%.
time. I'm not looking nowhere near a title. Maybe if we're in February and we're up there and we are points above the refs, then maybe. But otherwise from that, we move in silence like lasagna, as Lewin would say. Or G.
No,
you know that line.
Real G's moving silence.
Silence, that is that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's my whole thing with this situation, because I've seen the switch up, and I put that in the title as well from earlier. And for people, because I saw Crawley Eagle bring up earlier, he was talking about a bit early for all this hype. It's not even really coming from us. This is the craziest thing. Like, we're acknowledging the good form. We're acknowledging the good performances and everything. But it's everybody else that's doing up the hype, because a month ago it was Chelsea are in crisis. A month ago it's Chelsea are a mess. A month ago is we're going back to stage 1 of the process under a new manager and we'll be lucky to even get top 5 this season. Now suddenly everybody's doing up, watch out for Chelsea, you know. Chelsea are kind of cooking. I'm a little bit worried about Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea could do this. Chelsea could have an eye on 3rd place. Maybe they could be outside title contenders. The switch up is nuts. And that's not even much.
But the thing is, I think even ourselves, if we're being really honest, there is background. I don't know where it's from. There is background.
Yeah, one second. I'm gonna try find it.
But I think even ourselves, we may have, and listen, there's no shame to admit this. I think most of us had big question marks when Maresca took over. Even the summer window before the Neto transfer, where it was slightly underwhelming. Do you know what I mean? Who we recruited. I think Dewsbury Hall was the biggest recruitment before the Neto thing happened, and then it just all exploded. And maybe we're just even more surprised how, you know, it started to knit together. You know what I mean? I talked about it last week with CB and Lewis. I think Guni was there as well. I can't remember if it was. But I talked about you're starting to see remnants of a spine in the team. You're starting to see Colwell. You can count the goalkeeper if you want. I don't. After this weekend's performance, I'm not counting him as a spine member anymore. Do you know what I mean? He's just useless.
Broken neck. I hear it.
Yeah. You're seeing Colwell and Cucurella play, Caicedo, Enzo play, Palmer, Jackson play. But I think we're just surprised really how quickly something has happened. We were like all last season. It took Poch 32 and a half games to suddenly put Cucurella as an inverted fullback. Do you know what I mean? And then we won. The results were good, but the performance weren't. I just think it's no shame to admit it. I think we're surprised we're here so quick. I think maybe some of us were optimistic and gone, well, maybe by December, January we'll start seeing something, you know, happen, you know, stuff like that. But I think we're surprised by Maresca. I think we're surprised by his attitude towards who he wants to train, who he doesn't want to train, his attitude and just his answers that he gives in the press conference, how he handles things, how he changes things during the game quicker, how he learns from a mistake about not playing certain people in positions one game and in the next game he plays someone else there. I just think we are pleasantly surprised overall. You know what I mean? With everything. How quickly Jadon Sancho was settled. You know what I mean? Is Palmer good in the 10 or not in the 10? What can Jackson do? Caicedo, you know, is Colwell going to be good at centre back and stuff like that? I just think there's an optimism and pleasant surprise as a fan base. Do you know what I mean? It's just like we're sitting there going, I can't believe I'm seeing this probably this quickly. Now you're right. The run afterwards, we'll find out who's the phony tough and the crazy brave after the run after the international break, right? Even including the coach. But right now it's like, okay, I'm looking forward to it. Even the Conference League games, I'm looking forward to watching Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? Last 2 years, it's been a struggle, even on previews, to get excited for Chelsea games. Do you know what I mean?
We'd make them Championship FA Cup games look difficult.
It's been more of a mandatory root canal the last 2 years. Do you know what I mean? Without the anaesthetic. Do you know what I mean? It's been like that. It's been that. But I just think we're pleasantly surprised how so far it's going. I don't know what the rest think, but I am pleasantly surprised. You know?
Yeah, that's all it should be. That's been my energy, because it's been nice to enjoy football again. It's been nice to see us actually start firing a little bit more and to show a little bit of consistency. And the best thing I've noticed as well is the game management. We always seem to have better second halves, better defensive second halves as well. I saw a stat earlier today that said we've conceded 5 goals in the first half this season, and I think only 2 in the second half. I think it was the Kovacic goal and the Eze equalizer. We've shown ourselves to be a lot more defensively solid and a lot more better as the games progress. And it's positives to take, but for me, that's just it right now. And to chat as well, it's not even really us. It's not us that are trying to push it. I believe that this is a narrative that's being pushed from the media because it's the easiest breaking topic to go for right now. Chelsea are back. Chelsea are title contenders again. Chelsea are going to go back for the league. But just like Abdias is saying in the chat, they're building us up to tear us back down. I saw the same thing with Tottenham last season. They tried it with them too. Tottenham are going to go for the title. Tottenham look like a completely different team now that they've got Harry Kane and Postecoglou's got them cooking and everything. They had one defeat and then it fell off a cliff. And I'm not even trying to say that's going to be us. I'm not trying to talk that energy down for Chelsea. But one thing I've always thought of when a new manager joins, if they do well, is I want to see how he handles his first bad patch. That's when we're truly going to know where Maresca's at and where the team is at. And that's why I'm looking forward to all the games that are coming after the international break. We've got difficult games in the league week in and week out. And we're going to know exactly where the quality of the squad is. Until then, we're cooking. We're cooking. I think a lot of people, they're just eating their words about where the squad's at this point. But even then, that doesn't mean you go a full 180 and start pushing us up in title contender talk.
No, it's definitely a bit premature. Naturally, of course. I try when I'm on these streams, as opposed to other streams, that when I link up with you, Lewis, I like to use or Andrew. I like to be objective. I ain't gonna really push agendas. I'll actually look at things through like both sides. So in terms of where we started, you could argue though that the rough patch we had was through pre-season, because pre-season was kind of us figuring out how exactly we was gonna play. We went three goals down against Celtic for God's sake. Like it was dark. We really had one impressive pre-season game. I'll also say the fact that we played Manchester City. I know a lot of people say we played them a bit too soon. If we played them now, we would have beat them. But I like the fact that we played them game week 1 because it set the standard of what we need for Maresca. He was showing these lot. This is basically the carbon copy. This is where we want to be at. So the fact that we played them so soon, I think we did show them a bit too much respect. But moving forward, yeah, you guys are right. Spurs had 10 games unbeaten. Everyone was talking about them in the title race. It was the same thing, new system, possession football. Same with Ange. A couple injuries hit them, and it went left. Hopefully that isn't the case. I also saw something about Graham Potter's start, where he basically went 9 games unbeaten his first run. Yep. So when I'm looking at that for me, that's the worst manager we've ever had. The energy you guys give to Poch, I have that for Potter. So I'm looking at that, and I'm like, okay.
Wasn't the same.
I'm surprised by that one.
That wasn't the same. Potter was a nightmare. Potter was a hurricane, bro. That was some bullshit.
Yeah, even then, I think Potter got given a really bad hand with that squad.
Yeah,
that's why I don't really have the same energy with him.
I get that, but the inexperience.
That squad was good enough for 4th in a Carabao. That Chelsea team was going to fail even if Tuchel stayed.
But Lewis, under Potter, the inexperience showed. Can we all agree that Enzo Maresca is inexperienced to some level, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Do you feel the same level of energy as the whole when Potter was in charge?
Because Javon, I said about Potter, he gave off like a school counselor vibe. Do you know what I mean? He gave like a I want to be your best friend vibe, and Maresca doesn't give that vibe off. Yeah, he gives like I'm in charge vibe. I'll tell you what happened with Potter. Do you remember this sums up Potter? Day before Southampton game, we lost 1-0. He comes to the press conference and jokes, I've just been in an emergency meeting. Then this guy loses 1-0 to Southampton at home the next day, and then just brushes it off like, oh well, we gave all the boys tried their best on. How many times did we hear from Potter? Oh, the lads gave their best. Rubbish.
And then you see Maresca today. We beat West Ham 3-0 away from home, and he's saying that we could be better. That wasn't good enough.
Bro, one of the things that stood out to me is the same disparity in terms of having a big squad, right? What did Maresca do? Listen, he chose 25 players and that's it. Potter could have done the same thing because majority of those players were going to leave in the summer transfer window anyways. So he could have been off who he wanted to bin off and selectively, and he could have chose to work with a select few. Because everyone knows we were never going to keep 40 plus players or 30 plus players, what it is. So, Potter had this many players. I'm not using that as an excuse. You use the people that the club are just signing right now, right? And the people that you think can do a job for you, even if they're leaving in the summer, and then bin off who you need to bin off. Put your foot down. This man tried to incorporate a whole 30 plus people in, and every match day squad was different. Nah, man. And then to show up to a Champions League press conference and to tell them, I've never even been to a Champions League game before. Oh, you know what, bro? Get the fucking man.
You
No,
can
hell
tell
no,
he's too good to be there. He knew he didn't belong here, man. The
bro.
shoes were
Act
too
like you
big. He
belong
knew
here.
it.
I hear that.
You
Yeah.
get
Like
this
ultimately,
back
he wasn't good enough for us, but
That's
I
with
do
the- that's
also
with the new
think as
fade and the
well
new
he didn't have
turtleneck
the
as well.
force
That's
to do
with the-
anything anyway. But both
Exactly.
things, I think both things are correct.
But yeah, in terms of where we are today, for me, I'm gonna keep the title as long as we have the possibility to go for the title. I'm gonna go for it, but I'm not running around super deluded. Like every game is a cup final for us. Forest is a very big test. I look at the fact that every game that we got coming up, it feels as though we have a chip on our shoulder. We saw the way Forest beat us at home. We had a very tough game against them on the away tie as well. And we handled business. So we handled business. It was very dicey though, but we got the 3 points. Hopefully we can show it's going to be a low block that we can actually handle these. Because the new allegation now is, oh, just sit back against Chelsea and you should beat them. When teams realize you got to sit back, this and that. So let's beat the low block allegations against Forest. Then we got Liverpool, who we've lost in a cup final against this year. We lost 4-1 against them in that same ground. It's another chip on our shoulder. So it's just slowly. I'm looking at this like cup finals, and it's a mentality test. But now I want to see how ruthless Maresca can really be, because my only real critique with Maresca, other than the Palace game, because I feel like he kind of overthought that second half against Palace. My only real critique is I think he's showing a bit too much grace to Madueke, and he's getting a bit out of hand. He's had 4 games now, really, where, in my opinion, he's not really done nothing. Neto hasn't really been given a run of games in right wing position. We signed him for 60 million. Ultimately, he's not there to be rotation. So, and when he has been starting, he's out of position because we're shoehorning Neto in the side at left wing to accommodate Madueke. These last couple games, we're seeing the selfishness happen. You could argue, yeah, Palmer could have squared Jackson to make it 1-1 against Brighton. That is what it is. But I don't see what Noni has done that he's become a nailed-on starter, barring the Wolves game, which was almost 2 months ago.
But here's the thing: I don't think he's a nailed-on starter. I think if we overall, when you look at it, it's just 5 games, right? Because he didn't start against City. It's 5 games. What, knowing the type of coach and seeing what Maresca has done, I think Noni is on borrowed time. I really think he's going to give Neto a starter game, because what he doesn't want is for him to just shoehorn in Neto or put Neto in there, and then the rhetoric is, oh, you never gave Noni a chance. I think when he makes that decision, it's done. And you're just going to have to play out of your skin to get back into the squad. I don't have, as long as we keep winning games, I don't have a problem. But there comes a point where he needs to stay. You know what? I gave you 5 games. Let me give Neto 5 games. So one of them can nail down that right wing. You understand? So from my perspective, I get it and I hear it and I don't have a problem with it. I just don't want there to be doubt when he makes that decision. I don't want, when it's all said and dusted, no one should come out the woodwork. Oh, but he wasn't given time. And I'm the biggest Noni Madueke fan. Anyone here who's seen me and all you can eat Chelsea and then he play back, I've always defended Madueke, but I can't defend him when they're not pulling up trees, when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. The only thing I can give him these past couple of games, he's been very good defensively. I've seen him being at the back post when he needs to be on the back post. I've seen him tackling when he needs to tackle. But from an attacker, from a winger, you're judged what you do offensively and your decision making in the final third, and that's been lackluster.
I think this conversation comes into effect after the international break, because we got the game tomorrow. You can definitely see Neto starting tomorrow, and then Madueke starting on Sunday against Nottingham Forest. We presume that both will get picked for their international sides. I think Madueke will get picked again by England, and I think the squad's announced tomorrow for that, and then Neto will obviously get picked. But it's after the international break for me is the key one. It's like we've got a lot of competitions in between. We've got the big games in the we've got the League Cup away at Newcastle. We've got a couple more. I think at least one more game in the Conference League, or a couple more in the Conference League, and then the next international break. So it'll come into effect more then. We've also got to remember that when we go away to Manchester United, Jadon Sancho cannot play against Manchester United away, which is a loan agreement. So who goes on the left then? Does Neto then go back to the left then? You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
I think if he doesn't play against Forest, or if Neto doesn't start against Forest, and then we go into the international break, I think that means that he's not starting against Liverpool though. Because
Maybe.
they don't really have time to train with the squad and do all of that. They only have like maybe 2-3 days.
Not
to train.
necessarily, but that also depends on who goes on international break. Because remember, Merska said this himself. In the international break, he works on different things. That's why in different parts of the games you see we start to play differently. So
Yeah.
Both of them
never
are likely to go on international break, I think.
okay. We'll see. We'll see who gets.
I think Neto was in the last international team for
He was?
Portugal.
Okay.
I think so, yeah. I
All I'm
saw
saying-
pictures
Yeah, he was,
celebrating
he
with
was,
Ronaldo
he
or
was.
some shit.
All I'm saying is because that right hand side is not nailed down yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if one random Saturday Noni gets the chop. Unless, and don't get me wrong, it's all subjected to change. Unless his performance is pick up if he gets more game time to start.
Yeah.
I think as well, like Forest is going to be the perfect test for Noni too, because like we've been saying, that's going to be the first time where we play a proper deep block, and I think that's been one of the biggest question marks surrounding Noni. Is he more of a transitional winger, or is he the sort of winger that can do well in tighter spaces? And we saw in the Crystal Palace game, first off, I thought he was brilliant. When we were transitioning, he was cooking their left back, asking a lot of questions of them. Very like he'd had the poor finish. I think it was the worst finish of the game where he had the shot and he shot wide and it wasn't even on target and all of that. But it was a good game until they equalized and they dropped back. Then he seemed to like overthink himself, really struggle in terms of his decision making. And I think we'll get an idea of how far he's developed on that game on Sunday. But it does seem like it's going to be Neto that plays Thursday. And we've also been like heavily focusing on his minutes too. So I don't expect there to be any change until at least the international break. But Guni, I want to get you into the conversation as well. What's your thoughts on the whole right wing situation?
Long term or short term?
Both. Fuck it.
All right. So on a short term, I agree in the sense of, you know, Meska's got to start giving Neto more chances than Madueke, because, you know, for me, it's night and day. Neto's a better player, but maybe, just maybe, he's doing that because he's managing Neto. He doesn't want him to sustain a long-term injury or whatever, because we know his history hasn't been that great over in Wolves. So it could be that. It could be that he wants to ease him into a run of games. But Noni, for me, when you talk about like a player that's polarizing in terms of like just how frustrating he can be, I personally, I'm not a huge fan of Noni myself. I'm not. In terms of what he's contributed to the so far this season, it's been all right. It's been okay. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I see him as, nothing more than a squad player. You know what I mean? I think that he's nothing more than a squad player. But as of now, obviously, he's somebody that we're gonna have to rely on during the season. And all I can really do is just hope that he makes better decisions in the final third. He's not as selfish as he has been at times, and his ego does come down a bit. Listen, look, I get it. If you're an attacking player, striker, winger, that's naturally inclined to get output in their game, because a lot of players are, you're naturally going to be selfish. You know, some of the best wingers have been selfish. Ian Robin has been very selfish, notoriously selfish. You remember him when he was at Chelsea. This guy would just blaze through everyone and just score the goal. He just would ignore his teammates completely. Yeah, but the thing is that he did it because he can. Yeah, but and that's the thing. If Noni's going to be selfish, he has to understand that there has to be output that comes with it. Because these guys, they had the volume to be able to, you know, fluff a chance, but, you know, later on down the line in that game, they can get a goal out of nowhere where they're going to set up a goal out of nowhere and be crucial. Noni has to understand that, and he hasn't shown that to us yet. That's my issue. But my stance on the player himself, I'm happy he plays well, because the more he plays well, the better it is for his value. I think we should sell while stocks are high. Because look, we've got another young gem that's coming in. We've already got a conundrum somewhere down the line in the side, you know, next season. Because when
he's on borrowed time. He's on borrowed time.
That's what I mean. When Esteval comes in, you can't have 3 players occupying that position. They're all gonna want to play some football. You know what I mean? So for me, it makes more sense that Noni is the player that goes. We just signed Neto. For me, he's got the highest ceiling. Esteval, we've just signed him, one of the most promising youngsters in world football, we're being told. So where does that leave Noni? It's in his interest.
Let me answer that question real quick, right? Because I was having a discussion the other day, and this just came to me. What if everything stays the same, right? Let's say these players don't get better. You get the inconsistency from Noni, but you know you're gonna get some goals and some assists over the course of the season, right? and Mudryk stays the same. What occurs to me is because Neto can do a job on both wings, if we sell Mudryk, and this is not a slate on Mudryk, I'm just thinking alternately. If we sell Mudryk, Noni could stay and Neto occupies the left wing as a sub. And he
Now
won't
you're
be
looking.
Jadon Sancho.
Let me just say this though. You see, now when we're talking selling players, we're not talking about just next season. We're talking about potentially the next 3, 4, 5 seasons. So we have to be very careful about who we're selecting here. Do you know what I mean? So when we have those kind of discussions, that's what I'm looking at. And me personally, I don't want to finish top 4. I don't want to finish second. I want to be winning and competing for Premier Leagues, which is why consistently the players that I'm talking about that I want coming in Chelsea are at a high standard. Yeah, they've shown us that they can either play at a high standard or for their age group, what they're doing is an anomaly, which is why I've never let go of Jamal Musiala. I need that guy back at the club. Everyone's saying, well, we've got Cole Palmer. I don't care if we've got Cole. Play them both together. Make it work. Play them both together.
Yeah, figure out something.
This is what I'm saying, because I'm not looking for just what we're going to do next season. Nah, I'm looking, what are we going to do for the next several seasons? Because you have to look at other blueprints as well of young teams. The best ones are the ones that have played together, developed some kind of cohesion, and have grown together. And that's what we need to. That's the road that we've gone down. So if we're going to commit to that, then bring in that profile. Bring them in now and mold them into the team, because this is very early. It's still very early.
You know what, Noni,
the reason why I said
Noni
that though
has
is the reason why. Hold on. The reason why I said that though is if it's not gonna work for Noni, will it work for Mudryk? And then at that point, might as well sell both of them. And I didn't want to bring in, and I didn't want to spend money on a winger that's going to be a backup for Sancho. So that's my thinking. You see what I'm saying? So if Neto can play left wing, and we can have Estevao, because I don't necessarily want Estevao to walk right into the starting limit, because he's going to have to bulk up for the Premier League, and he's going to have to learn from these more seasoned professionals.
100.
Right? So, if basically what I'm saying is, if I had to sell one, I'm going to sell the one that's giving me more right now, or at the moment when it's time to sell.
More financially.
I get where you're coming from. In terms of Mudryk is definitely lower on the pecking order than Madueke. Like, he's definitely going up. He's probably leaving also. But with Madueke, there's two things that I look at that irritate. What irritates me with him and his selfishness, I kind of understand it, because we've all established here, there's a new young player coming in. He's on borrowed time. The fact that he's going to run a games of starting, he is really trying to make his mark, because he kind of knows, if I don't perform, I'm leaving this at the end of the season. He was already linked to Newcastle a lot last year, which I think at the time, I don't think we should have sold him this year. I would have kept him for the season and then probably potentially moved him on, because unless we were trying to replace him again and get a replacement for him again, so that's 2 right wingers, I doubt that would have happened. But in terms of the squad building situation, Mudryk's probably gone. In terms of Noni, what's in his favour is the fact that he's a homegrown talent. When we talk about outgoings and getting rid of players and so forth, this is something that we need to consider. The reason why the Sancho move made sense for us and we pushed for it is because it was like for like. Sterling's an English international, is a homegrown talent on our books. He's leaving, replace him with a homegrown. So now, if Noni is to leave as a homegrown, bear in mind Chilwell's still on our books and he's probably going to leave too. We need to replace them with 2 English players. Hence why, against we got Drewsbury, who everyone we can all say, why did we sign him? It's for these type of reasons. So when it comes to squad building, these things have to play a part in it that no one takes into account. Now, in terms of another thing with this squad building situation, like you said, Guni, you said it's about you need to look at the next 3-4 seasons. You mentioned Musiala. The fact that we signed Felix on a permanent deal for £43 million is the reason why we're not going back in for another 10 for a couple of years.
I forgot about him. I forgot
exactly.
About him.
Because he's not going anytime soon.
Yeah. But anyway, listen, just to bring the point home.
We got players coming in as well. So.
It doesn't necessarily.
I think someone we bought recently is going to end up having to leave soon, just by default, innit?
Yeah.
Because we got a João Felix, we got a Dewsbury Hall, for example. Estevao and Pies are joining as well. Something's kind of got to give. Now we got Cole Palmer, who's playing in the 10 as well, potentially. Someone that we bought recently is eventually going to have to go.
Yeah, so I didn't even remember Felix. So both Mudryk and Madueke might leave next summer, and we might not even need to bring in anybody.
Oh yeah, Chukwuemeka as well. I forgot about him too.
He's dipping too.
I could Someone's not going to like this, but I can definitely see Nkunku leaving next summer.
I was about to say the same thing. I said we're going to have a conversation about Nkunku because where does he fit into it? But I've thought about it over the past couple of weeks. I think he's going to be, if we get some money for him, I think they're going to sell. That's how I think it's going to go down. I reckon we're just going to end up going down the number 9 route and getting rid of Nkunku.
I feel like he's got too much quality to let go of, but again, someone's going to have to go.
Me personally, I agree with you. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I can see happening because they've just given.
I feel like at least for this season, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem because he is going to get a lot of minutes regardless, be it the Prem, be it Conference League. Next season, though, like if we don't figure out a regular position for him to play in the starting lineup, maybe.
Yeah, because he's too high of a wage earner to be rotational. This is how, when it comes to outgoings, that's the one thing the board look at is the wage. How much are we paying this person? Are we getting the value for his wages? He's one of the higher earners of the team. I think he's one of the top 4 earners. They're gonna try and have them. Chukwemeka's on, like, he gets paid more than Palmer. Actually, Palmer just re-signed the contract, but he's on 100k a week. They're looking at that like, why are you getting 100k a week? You don't play. Let's do our best to get you off our books. So these are the things they're looking at. Is I don't want Nkunku to leave, but
no one does.
The way, like the optics, how I look at it, like for example, sometimes we're chasing a game, we need a result, or even we've put the game to bed and the subs. He's not the first sub to even come on. He will, like, sometimes they bring on Mudryk before they bring him on and stuff like that. These little things is showing me, okay, this is showing me how they look at you in terms of the pecking order. Other than you being a backup 9, his position right now is a backup 9. When we all knew we was trying to go for a striker up until the last hour of the window.
But here's the thing.
Where would he have played if we signed a striker?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. But here's the thing. I'm gonna bring it all back. It's only 6 games, right? Who's to say against Liverpool, United, and Arsenal? He gets those minutes, the same minutes you're getting, but then his impact is greater than the minutes he gets, and then he starts pulling up 3. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's too early to make these definite decisions because you never know. Who knows? By January, he's a starter for us, and Jackson just get a whole bench or improve. We never know because he has the quality to do that, right? Yeah. And I think a point you made, the minutes he's getting, I think it's criminal to only give him 15 minutes off the bench, especially when we're winning. I think that's just criminal. But again, he's an injury-prone player. So he's and
we have a game tomorrow. And we have a game tomorrow, which he's going to start. He's going to start.
I think he had a lot of minutes against Barrow. So, like, I think it comes into a load management thing again, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's playing. He's going to start. We all know he's going to start tomorrow as well. He's going to start the game tomorrow. So there's no point overloading him and stuff like. It's not like West Ham. He came on at 60 minutes, but that was a training session second half against West Ham. There was no pressure football. We were balling. We were just like passing the ball around and letting them have it for fun. Against Brighton, a little bit different. We were still in control, but it wasn't as much control against West Ham, stuff like that. And we know he's going to start the game tomorrow and probably play a lot of the game tomorrow because he's at home. You know, we don't need to play Jackson tomorrow at all and stuff like that.
Did you guys realize that Felix didn't even get game time?
All he can do is do what he's doing. A hat-trick against Barrow. All he can do is just score goals. You know what I mean, like you said, Javon, if he's coming on sub with this run after the international break, go winners. Come on and make an impact. You know, a positive impact. If it's a tight game, if it's 1-1 away at Anfield, and you come on and bag a winner or an equaliser or something like that, just do that. Just keep doing that.
Yeah, he's going to get to a point where Meska has to start him. He's going to get to a point where Meska can
make your case that in the press conference, people are asking Meska, hey, Jack, this isn't a diss on Jackson. Jackson may not have scored in 4 games, but hey, you know, Nkunku's come on every single game and scored. You know, what is he going to get a start? You have to plant it in to, and that's what's so refreshing this season to last season. Jackson had maybe 2 or 3 games stinkers in a row, and we had no one to replace him on the bench. We had no one there. We had no one. We are discussing. Remember this last season? We were discussing players stinking up the joint. This season, we're discussing Madueke having the past 4 games, and when Neto should be in there. This wasn't a conversation 6 months ago. It was, oh God, We have to play Sterling. We have to play Sterling and Mudryk.
Oh,
Do you know?
This
Yeah.
is why.
Sterling,
this is why
Mudryk,
with
or
the-
Noni, who's Palmer playing with, guys?
Yeah.
yeah.
But this is
Now
why
we're trying to
with the
leave
Poch
people out.
arguments. Yeah, when you guys say, "Oh, we thank God we survived Poch, this and that," I don't think it's fair to do these like for like comparisons because he didn't have the luxury of this depth. He never did, and I'm not here trying to defend.
Oh.
Poch. He has his crimes. Poch has his crimes, but why can't
Tell
we
us
not
something.
look at things objectively?
I'm looking at it objectively.
responsible
And
for
you know what's
something.
the most
Because we
objective
had a
thing?
lot of games that we could have won with the players that we had still, and we
I
didn't.
said this to Lois, and I'll say it again. As a coach, right? Whatever hand you're dealt, your job is to figure out a situation to either win or draw a game. Yes, you have situations where the team are just better than you, but there's situations where you have to coach. I think Lewis said this himself. Coach is coach, right?
No, I
So,
agree. I agree for sure.
You can't tell me. You can't tell me.
That's my
against
thing. He
Manchester
had
City.
enough to deal with. That was enough to get fourth in a Carabao. That's why I can't
No,
defend it.
You see with Poch at the end of the day, yeah, he finished 5 points off top 4. He had a whole new squad, yeah, because you need to realize a lot of the players left. We had a completely new team. He had to build cohesion, get all of these guys used to playing with each other, all of these things. A large chunk of the players were inexperienced. This was, for example, Jackson. It was his second season in top flight football. The guy never even played academy ball like that. So
Can I
I'm
say
looking at
something?
that. Bear with me, bro. I'm looking at that through that lens, and then I look at the fact that Reese James injured for the whole season. Fair enough, he's injured now still. Fofana was injured for the whole season. He started every game this season in the league. Lavia was out. He's managed to get he got 60 minutes or 70 minutes of Lavia. Lavia only played 45 for us in the league. And Nkunku's available. That's basically 3 new signings, not to mention Neto, Sancho, Felix as your depth options. Is a completely different team.
Only Fofana regularly starts for us now, though. Out of all of them. And this is my thing as well. I get that. You had your injuries, but that's why you also, again, have to set the team up in the right way. Not like have one midfielder and have Enzo press the goalkeeper and get 20 touches. Not the constant mess up that we had defensively. Like we see with Maresca, for example, the second half would get better. The second half would get worse with Poch. Like playing 2 forwards at home against Nottingham Forest, I could genuinely keep
Lewis,
going.
just play that Poch video of his prime. Just play that Poch video of his
It's not
prime.
even
Just play
that
that
deep.
video.
It's not
Well,
even
I
that
could
deep.
get the whole list up. I could get the whole list back
It's
up,
not
bro.
even that deep. I'm gonna reel it back to the fucking start of the season. Sorry, because it's pissing me off. You think about it this way. We're not even gonna go to the list. Look, think about it logically. You had a preseason. You had a structure, right?
All of this, bro.
First thing you do, you built your structure around an injured prone player. Cool. And reason why I said that, after the fact, he came out and said, "Oh, Nkunku got injured, so we couldn't play how we wanted to." What the fuck? What do you think was going to happen? This man was injured back-to-back seasons at RB Leipzig before he came here. And on top of that, the structure you implemented it the back end of last season, which gave us that 5-game run. Why would you throw away the entire structure for the entire season? That makes
also,
no
by the way,
sense.
by the way, we found that structure with our biggest injury crisis of the season. By the way,
Exactly.
No, I'm not here trying to sympathize because I'm looking at this here. Everything we're just considering here. Earlier on this stream, the beginning of the stream, I mentioned Potter, and I saw a lot of you guys defending Potter. At least, bro, you're consistent because you crash Potter and you're crashing Poch. Fair enough. But Lewis, you was making a lot of excuses for Potter not even 20 minutes ago, and I'm looking at Poch's situation, and I'm like, bro, come on.
Because Potter had the worst Chelsea squad.
For example, look at
And that's my only thing, and that was it. I agree Potter wasn't good enough, but he actually had the worst Chelsea squad.
No, but
he actually had a squad that wouldn't have
players.
achieved anything.
He had
Not good enough.
Players that were experienced that actually knew they've been in this position before. The large chunk of our team last season, majority of my biggest complaint was barring Sterling, Thiago Silva, and maybe Nkunku. No one has played over 150 league appearances.
Well, a lot of those experiences
are
not good enough.
That team finished 6th and Potter teams finished 12th.
But listen. I don't want to do this. We've gone over the autopsy of Poch's reign here. Do you know what I mean? We've done this. We don't need to.
I don't want to.
No. I just don't think we need to because we're gonna And I know you don't mean. I know it's not meant to. You meant to get us off track. But we're going to spend like 45 minutes like speaking about budgets.
Yeah, you know what?
We don't need to speak. Listen. We didn't alternatively flip. Me and Lewis didn't flip on Poch until the Man United game away, bro. Because until we just saw that performance. But for me, he was most disappointing because I expected more. The other coaches like Potter, I had question marks of whether he could do it. Poch for me had a background, and I expected more. Was he? Listen. The injuries happen on the pitch. I never blame him for. I think he's a dinosaur when it comes to training methods and everything like that. His best thing was let's just give it to Palmer and see what we can do. There's a lot of mistakes in that summer with the recruitment, and he was part of the mistake in getting recruited. And that's why
I completely understand. Yeah, I don't want to
talk about the sporting directors and the owners. Their manager ID. Let's hope this works. So far, has been crap. Do you know what I mean? What is needed for the squad? It's been useless.
My biggest issue with Clear Lake.
But this is the thing. We need to. What are we talking about for Poch?
Oh, we're talking about Enzo Maresca's journey and
Enzo Maresca's
squad building.
It was essentially the squad building. Yeah, that's what it was.
But what's the difference is I do like him taking ownership. Maresca takes ownership more of like things that don't work out. And when I said he learns from his mistakes, played Desassi at right back at Bournemouth. He can't play right back. So he changed it during the game, and then he didn't start him again against West Ham. Played for Fafana. I know Fafana's not a right back either. I think he's better suited there. More proactive subs, bringing Sancho on at half time against Bournemouth. Change game management, like Lewis said, against West Ham. How are we going to West Ham when we've had such a poor record over the years and able to take off Palmer and Jackson with half an hour to go? This is what we're talking about. Even he's not rushing people back either. He's not rushing Lavia back. He's not rushing. Gave Gusto 45 minutes against Barrow, took him off. Stuff like that. And just his press comments. Even today though, he asked him whether he regretted leaving Ben Chilwell out of the conference league. No. He doesn't. He's not here for ego, bro. He doesn't care about players' egos. He doesn't care about players' egos.
Andrew,
that's what I like.
Everything you're saying. I'm.
No. This wasn't directed at you. This is just my general feeling.
No, I hear you. One thing about me, I've always been a back the gaffer kind of guy. I don't care who the gaffer is. I'm gonna back you. Even Potter, the fact that it got to a point where I couldn't back you, it was hurting me. Poch, for me, he deserved like the fact that he lost 5-0 to Arsenal. We had some tough days. He needed to go. I accept that. It is what it is. Yeah. But in terms of Maresca, when I'm highlight the things that Poch, I feel like doesn't get he doesn't get fair criticism or fair acknowledgement about. That's not me. I don't want the stream to take it as I don't want Maresca to do well.
No one should take it. You're going against Maresca.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it. Looking at it.
No. If anyone thinks
for the positives, I'll acknowledge that the home form improved, the attack improved, and he likes the game against Pep.
Because this is the thing. With every big game, like say what you want. These are the takeaways I take with Poch, and we can move on. Big games, fair enough. We didn't. If you look at it in hindsight, now we actually didn't really get that many wins against top teams.
Yeah, it's mostly draws. You're right.
We had the performance levels was very convincing against big teams. You gave us the feeling that okay, you know what? If we sort some of this stuff out, we could actually figure this out in terms of just the way we played against top teams. That's one. Two, you cannot say, his tactic was, just give Palmer the ball and inshallah. That is lazy analysis. This guy has 4 young player of the year candidates that he's managed. Kane twice, Dele Alli, and now Palmer.
I agree.
That's not no coincidence.
I think his tactics was just inshallah.
He is great at developing young talents, and we don't give him credit for. 3, the development of Jackson, Gusto, Gallagher, Jackson, Gusto, Gallagher, Palmer, I'd give him credit for. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then lastly, at the end of the day, he beat Spurs twice, innit? But other than that, he can go. It is what it is. Like, he can go. I'll be honest.
Oh man, beating Spurs is an expectation. That's like a spoiler. Everything else I'll give you. Everything else I'll give you though. That wasn't even too bad.
Even Potter couldn't do that. You're right. Even Potter couldn't beat Spurs.
Spurs.
Bro. I'd already turned on him by then. When we lost 1-0 to Southampton off his dumb lineup and game management, I was like, I can't. You man got bopped off the park by bottom of the table Southampton. It is what it is. I'm just going to roll through a couple of the super chats quickly before we move on. Big up to every single one of you that's donated and everyone that's watching. Again, like the video and sub to everybody's channels in the description below. Rise up everybody's channels. Big up to Abdi saying, seen this before. They build us up to tear us down. Facts, which is why I ain't falling for it just yet. Felix says, I'll only say title race if we are at the top after the Arsenal game or around January. We need a run like under Conte. Reese James back would be a game changer. See where we are after November. But even then, like, I might wait till we see how we handle the easier fixtures after it.
You see these run of games, and I'm not saying title race, but if we get 8 or 9 points out of this run, then that is tremendous right there. After the run coming up, because I listen. If you're telling me take a point away from Anfield right now, given our record at Anfield, I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? The Arsenal games are mixed up. I think we always beat Newcastle anyway at home. The Man United one, we need to get that 11-year itch off our back. Do you know what I mean? We need to get that off our back.
11 years is crazy, man.
We cannot be the only big team to not. I cannot have Spurs going up there and whomping these guys 3-0 when we are better than Spurs.
Bro, every year we go to Old Trafford, we say it's the worst United squad we're playing and we don't win.
Win every time. Every time.
Especially if that egghead Wallad's in charge as well.
No, he's definitely gonna be in charge. And this is the thing.
I'm just saying, I can't. That's where I broke.
You mean the excellent Ten Hag?
I broke last year when we lost. When we lost to them last year, I broke. When we lost,
that was the eye opener for me for where we.
That was like. Oh my god!
The 2 games they've got before they face us is West Ham and Leicester. I expect them to win both of those games. They're gonna go into that game with some sort of form. Obviously, we've got some tough games. God forbid we take a loss against Liverpool and our heads go down, and then we've got Newcastle, then we face them. I don't know what that's going to look like. Hopefully, it doesn't get to that. But this run of games, I can't lie. Should we expect Reese James to be playing?
No.
Are we expecting him in the squad?
I ain't expecting Reese James back until he's back.
This is getting out of hand, though, man. This is getting out of hand.
That's a different subject.
My stance has just been the same thing. When he's back, then I'm gonna assess everything. Until then, it's like he don't even exist.
I'm more concerned in getting Gusto fit. That's all. Get Gusto fit. I know he's not had a good start to the season, but my main concern is getting Gusto fit because he can play with Reese James' injury stuff. I know Gusto's getting injured, but he plays longer. Do you know what I mean? Gusto's proven that should be Gusto's spot. You know, Reese James has to earn his way back after like 3 years of injuries. Do you know what I mean? We should be concerned about getting Gusto back fit before Reese James can. You know, I'm just all this like anyway. But you know, let's do your super chat. Sorry.
No, that's all good. It's all good. Big up to Phantom and many topics saying if Chelsea can win the next 2 Premier League matches, I'll come off from being on loan at Fulham. You know, you chose Fulham as the loan club. That's like
the gate is closed.
Yeah,
why did you
Fulham is
there for the season.
Fulham are top 6 right now, though. So
why didn't you choose Real Madrid?
Are they?
Yeah,
no.
Bro, leave the country.
Sorry, I ain't been paying attention to anything beneath us. They're 2 points behind.
You should have chosen Real Madrid. You should have chosen Real Madrid or Bayern Munich or something like that.
Yeah, go support Inter or something and come back.
Fulham.
Go watch WWE or something. Take a break, bro.
Fulham have got a sneaky 11-point start to the season. They battered.
So can I ask you guys, since we was on the topic of Liverpool, do you reckon Maresca should do the 3 midfielders as in Lavio, Enzo, and Caicedo together? Or should we do Enzo and Caicedo or Lavio and Caicedo? Because we do kind of have the excuse for Enzo to be dropped considering international break, and we've seen Enzo doesn't really do well with the travel and coming back. Like, last international break, he didn't play. What should we do? Because that pivot of Gravenberch and McAllister, the thing is with them two is Gravenberch and McAllister have the defensive, them two together as a pivot. They're defensively sound, out of possession. They're winning their duels. McAllister wins his 50-50s, etc. Whereas Gravenberch, who's in the Caicedo role, does the defensive side. His partner is someone that gets stuck in. He's winning his duels. And on top of that, attacking-wise, he's offering a lot. That midfield battle is going to be essentially a 1 versus 2 unless we potentially play Caicedo and Lavia, or we do the 3 of them together and we compact the midfield and just control possession.
Can someone tell me how Forest played them? How did Forest play them in midfield?
I couldn't tell you.
That's what I mean. I don't know. How did Forest play them in midfield? Because when I was watching, I didn't watch the game full, but when I was watching a bit of highlights of the Liverpool fans, they were saying that Liverpool's attack was toothless that day.
But they were controlling possession on the
right. But what I'm saying is
on the break.
That's maybe that's what we'll do. You know what I mean? Our counter attack is quite good this season. Do you know what I mean? We're quite counter-attacking.
The reason why I'm very excited for the Liverpool game to just see where we're at is because they're really the only big team I see. Maybe Tottenham as well, top 6 team going toe to toe with us. As in, they're gonna play a highlight.
Don't ever in my presence call Tottenham a big team.
No, I'm talking big 6. I'm talking big 6.
No, even that. It's a big 5. It's a big 5. Spurs on it.
Hold on. Can I get my 2 cents on this?
Yeah, go on, bro.
I think you guys are overlooking the key areas where we could actually get something out of this game, and it's the same thing against City. We have to play natural wingers. Look at the fullbacks for Liverpool. They're there to be got at. If you remember that City game, none of you guys knew me at the time, but I was screaming from my head top to play a natural winger out there because they didn't have Walker and they had makeshift fullbacks.
Yeah,
so
right.
if we can get the best version of Neto running at that fullback, and if we can get Sancho linking up with Palmer and Cucurella and exploiting those wings, then and we can have a solid midfield. I would go with Caicedo and Lavia. We could be cooking. And then the best part about it is Palmer can drop deep because guess what? He has those balls. He has those line breaking passes. He has over the top balls.
That's a yellow
even
card.
Even Noni, if you don't start with
crazy.
if even Noni, I'm talking about football.
Hey, yo.
No, stop
hey,
it. Seriously though, think about it.
Yeah.
Even if we can get some performance out of Noni Madueke, and it's the performance where he's attacking and putting the fear of God in his fullback, or Neto does this. I don't care who plays over there, but whoever's playing on the wing, they gotta roast the fullback because that's where the chances are gonna come from.
No, 100%. Because especially with them, they're gonna press us very high up on the pitch.
Exactly.
They're gonna press us very high. And it's gonna essentially be the way they do it as well. They push up is gonna be Van Dijk, Konate, Jackson in between both of them. If we can just essentially break that line, that first line of their press, we've got them. In terms of Jackson, you can link up with Palmer, go out wide, and we go from there. I trust Sancho versus Trent. I think that would be a nice battle. If they're playing Simicast, I'm licking my lips. Neto can do what he needs to do there. But I just want us to play our way. I don't want him to do the Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo thing, which I understand is terms of.
He usually changes the structure based off opponent anyway.
Yeah, because
I don't want him to be too respectful either.
I would want to.
He would have learned that from the City game.
I would want to play our way against them, but I do understand that we do need to control possession, especially in a ground like Anfield. The last couple of games we haven't been controlling. We ain't been controlling.
We got
possession.
spanked the last couple of games. We got spanked.
Our structure against
Brighton,
Anfield. If I even start on that, we'll go back to the
control.
debate.
No,
another thing is Liverpool's biggest strengths is in transition. Our biggest weakness,
Mitchie, boy, I'm going to bring the super trap in.
Is out of possession. So I would ideally want Lavia and Caicedo because I know they can win those duels. Exactly. In terms of Enzo, I hate to kick him when he's down, but in terms of his duels, winning duels out of possession, we've seen it even against Brighton. Baleba was handling him.
Bro, but it's one game. It's not that deep if the whole bench for one game and then come on.
But it's
one game. It's not that deep. You play against United. United not gonna do nothing with the midfield. You've seen them. Bro, come on. Move on to the super chat.
But you reckon Maresca has the balls to drop him?
Of course.
He's fully fit and you put him on the bench.
Of course, that's a manager right there.
Because he did that with Mudryk and he was 62 mil. So I think he could do that with an Enzo.
Mudryk is established.
We'll see. He'll drop him.
Second highest transfer versus fourth.
The way he talks about Lavia and the way Caicedo is playing, you can definitely see Enzo being dropped. Let's not say drop, rotated, whatever you want to call it.
It's one game. It's not that big of a
It's one game. I think he'll do. Like I said, I think he's got 5. I think he's starting to build a team that's got 5 or 6 players that will play most of the games, and he's going to fit pieces around them like you usually do. Do you know what I mean? Like a spine or whatever, a set of players. Dude, but let's get to the super chat.
Yeah, because Guni, I know you ain't got a lot of time left, so I wanted to bring this one up because it was directed at you. Gilno says, Guni called Jackson dog shit and laughed at the idea of comparing Palmer to Musiala. Young players need time. Learn to read between the lines, lads. I'm going to say, just quickly, opinions made at a certain time don't necessarily mean they're relevant now. But I mean, fair enough. But go on, Guni. I'll let you respond to it.
All right, so laughing at the idea of comparing Palmer to Musiala, I'll start there because that one is not really a long answer. First of all, again, when you go back to the time, even if I did say that, I don't remember saying it. If I did, I did. If I didn't, then shame on you. But when you go back at the time, it was night and day. Musiala was and still is one of the best, for me, probably top 3 young players in the world at the minute. 100%. 100%. So, like, for me, I feel absolutely no shame in saying that Cole Palmer's risen to the occasion 100%. Now he's definitely in the conversation 1000%. But Musiala is still a top quality player, so it is what it is. And in terms of Nicholas Jackson, he's still dog shit in front of goal. Let's have it right. If we're gonna judge him on what his job needs to be, right? Yeah, listen, he's scored a couple goals this season, but like he still misses too many opportunities to convince me that he's gonna go on to be a top level striker that's gonna be able to help us compete on all fronts. Until I see that,
I don't know about that.
until I see that, I'm not finished. Hold on. Until I see that, I'm going to maintain that opinion. I like to be proved wrong. I enjoy. Listen, you see, there's nothing more I want to see than these players that I've been digging out. I'm sorry, pause. I've been, you know what I'm saying, going at. Yeah, I've been going at. You know what I mean? I love to see them prove me wrong because it means it's good for Chelsea, right? Jackson has improved from when he's joined the club. I will say that, yes. But the point of the conversation for me is this guy going to be good enough to be able to compete on all fronts, or help us compete on all fronts somewhere down the line? His finishing tells me no. Can I point to somebody else who should be able to do a better job than him? Absolutely. That guy's playing over there at Sporting. Is he a better finisher? 100%. Can he link up play? 100%.
Now you're moving me, Guni.
But no, I'm just being real. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
He was even frustrated himself. I get,
bro. It's not that deep. Guni just wants him to be a killer in front of goal. If he gets that, we don't need a striker.
That's what I want.
Yeah. If he's a killer, we don't need a striker. If he's not a killer, we need a striker. Simple.
Guni, you have every right to say that, but this is what you don't take into account, yeah? Where we miss, like, in terms of Gyökeres as a 9 finishing, if we're going to get a striker, I agree. Gyökeres is the one to get. But with Jackson, you said something that you don't believe he can lead us. He can lead the line with us competing. But we've seen, for example, Bobby Firmino win a title with Liverpool with 8 goals in the league and 9 assists, and he's playing alongside somebody that's getting 30 GA in the league. If Palmer's getting his 30 GA, if Palmer's getting his 30 GA and we get a winger that's getting within 15 GA in the league, why can't Jackson with 20 GA in the league not be good enough? When that's exactly what Firmino's doing. He's offering all the link up and all the all-round play, as well as that he's getting assists and he's scoring goals. I understand what you're saying in terms of a killer, but that's not the type of football we're playing with. We've got somebody that's getting the goals already before us.
The man had Salah and Mane, a consistent Salah and Mane on either side for several seasons. Again, so that still remains to be seen. We don't even know if Cole Palmer is going to be doing this 2-3 seasons down the line. So that's an entire different conversation. And whoever's on that other side is just not putting up the numbers to even be able to chat to them. That's a different situation entirely. Now, if we had goal-scoring wingers who were that relentless on either side, then of course I wouldn't be as pressed to be getting a number 9. Maybe Jackson could just, he could be in there to help with the link up and let the other 2 do the work. That's great. But it's just the fact that we don't have that. We don't have that prolific level. We've got it on one side for now, but is that going to maintain the way Salah did or the way Mane did? We don't know. Hopefully it will.
I think you see with the Jackson stuff, as a fan base, we're too hard. Jackson is one more PO goal away to equal Havertz's Premier League goals for Chelsea. He's 2 goals away from doubling Timo Werner's Premier League.
He's 4
goals away
from doubling.
Hold on. CB, this is where you get lost in stats. What the concern around Jackson is when it's a 1-on-1 and it's an important goal, there's too much question marks around him if he's going to convert that important goal. He's not
nail on the head.
Not lethal enough all the time.
Let me get the assist. Let me get the assist, Javon. Watch this. You see the other day, Manchester City versus Arsenal, when Erling Haaland was through on goal. Before he took his first touch, what did everybody say when he was through on goal? He's scoring. He's scoring. Yep. Exactly. That's the level of ruthlessness that we need. I need to be able to say that about whoever's going to be at
but you're using
So we're judging
He's
Jackson
No,
as
no,
a
no, no.
finisher and
Hold on.
compared it to
There
the
is a
player. I
basis.
think that's where the
Barring
argument's coming
Haaland-
from.
Hold on. Let me bring it back to some resemblance of our conversation here, right? We do not have the setup that Liverpool had, where we had 2 goal scoring wingers that's giving you 20 plus goal a season.
Yeah,
we have more of a mold. I'm going to repeat this clearly for the ones in the back. We have more of a mold of a City lineup where we're relying on a striker to score goals, right? Yes, it's good to have your Cole Palmer, but Cole Palmer cannot do it by himself for the entirety of a 38-game season. If he does it, then fantastic. But the fact that we're relying on a Jackson to score us goals simply means he has to be a killer when those moments come along. Because
I'm not
perfect
trying
example.
I'm not trying to see an FA Cup or Carling Cup wasted chances. I'm tired of that. I had to see it with Mason Mount. I seen it with Kai. I seen it with Jackson. I'm tired. I want ever since Diego Costa to be able to say with chest, he's through 1-on-1. He's gonna score. That's what I need.
No, I completely understand. Yeah, but like we're saying, if like I mentioned, Jackson's 4 goals away from being our most successful striker since Costa. Now, I'm not saying Jackson. I don't want you to take this as we don't need a striker. I've been saying yes, we do need a striker. I look at it more as a plan B option when we're facing different teams, etc. Or you can even play alongside him. But to say that we can't compete with Jackson, that's where you lose me. That's where you lose me because you said I get caught up in the stats, yeah. But Jackson can drop a 7 out of 10 without scoring a goal or getting an assist.
But at the end of the day, I repeat it. At the end of the day, it's not that we can't compete with him. You know? It's not that we can't compete, and it's not that Jackson can't do a job. The issue is when he's 1-on-1, when he's
let Andrew go
on the keeper, there's a big question mark around it. Look how surprised everyone was when he scored that 2 1-on-1 goals against West Ham. It shouldn't be a surprise. It should be, he's going to score. We don't even need to worry about it. That's the issue around Jackson. Otherwise, from that is cool.
Listen,
go on, Andrew. Go.
I don't know why I keep having to say this, guys. If he just changed his name to Nico Kalu, you would understand what we got right here. Okay, he is Solomon Kalu for this generation, and people that watch Solomon Kalu will understand what I'm talking about. He missed 1-on-1s, scored the odd bang here and there.
Too, Winter Surfer.
Right,
you've been saying this forever.
What? I know. I've been saying it, but no one's listening. But what I'm saying is this: so Jackson. That's why I said in the summer, if we got Osherman, we're bang on for we're nailed on for top 4 and possibly even more, right? Or Jokic.
But Osherman isn't better than Jackson. This is
no. Listen, I'm not. Listen, in a pure number 9, he is.
No, he's not though. He missed the chances the same way Jackson does.
Him as a finisher, isn't it?
What's the criteria that you judge a striker on?
For me, back to goal game.
What's the most important thing a striker needs to do? What's his job? Let's be real. Don't be obtuse here.
Jackson's got if it's score, Jackson's got 4 goals in 6 games in the league this season. Why are we having this discourse then? If that's really about goals.
Okay, cool.
Because look against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I agree.
That goal.
I agree.
That's the type of thing we're talking about. It's not about the volume of goals.
FA Cup.
But I saw Isak miss chances. I saw Isak miss chances when they needed to.
Let me explain this.
Barring Haaland, because you guys are using
you can't say barring Haaland. You can't say barring Haaland because that's who we're going.
Okay, then let's name strikers that are currently playing that we trust in front of goal more than Nicholas Jackson.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Who's a better finisher, Gyökeres or Nicholas Jackson?
Gyökeres.
There you go. So why can't we have him in our team?
Gyökeres had a stinker yesterday, though. I'm just going to say that.
Okay, cool. But listen, you've seen Haaland. Let's be real. You've seen Haaland have stinkers. You've seen Diego Costa have stinkers. I've seen R9 have stinkers.
I saw Drop have a stinker for 2 seasons. His first 2 seasons.
Do you
getting booed at the bridge?
Guni, we're gonna do this Gyökeres thing. You're gonna do this Gyökeres thing. I know that's your man. We've talked about it. Me and you. I know that's the guy. But here's the thing with Gyökeres, right? You're playing against teams in a league where Nunez scored 35 goals. So how do you actually compare those goals that he had into a league like this?
Because he got 20 in the championship.
The big thing that I have to disagree with CB with Jackson is you keep comparing him to like the scrubs that we had, right? Like he had this amount of goals over average. You had this amount of goals over Werner. But the guy that we need to be worried about is the top goal scorers in this league, bro. Like that's the one thing. That's the one thing. And I love Nico, right? I don't have the same vitriol.
And Watkins.
CB. Let me explain it to you this way, right? When we remember, I'm gonna try to say this clearly. When we remember, Didier Drogba, don't we remember him for his important goals?
Yes.
Let me finish. Let me land. I'm going to repeat myself.
I agree with what you're saying.
I don't think anyone on this panel has a problem with Jackson.
No.
Or issue is
I love Jackson.
Our issue is we cannot 100% say when he's 1-on-1 in front of goal, he's definitely going to score. If it was Drogba, we can say so. And the reason why I bring up Drogba is that he scores those goals in the important moments. As of now, I'm not judging Jackson harshly because I think he can improve because it's a mental thing. He just needs to calm down and convert, right? As of now, if he's 1-on-1, I cannot 100% say he's going to score.
I agree with you because when he was through on goal against Crystal Palace, I didn't have faith that he was going to score. I agree.
That's a problem.
But I agree with that. That's fair. But this is what the fact that you've just mentioned Drogba, yeah? Drogba had two seasons where he scored more than 20 goals in the league in his whole career for Chelsea. He had a Lampard.
Let's not do that, bro. Let's not.
No, but listen, this when like for me from moving forward, yeah, I wanna disclaimer this. Firstly, Drogba's my favorite player ever. Secondly, moving forward, I think as a fan base, the last 2 years we've done a lot of slandering when it comes to Chelsea and the club, etc. We've aired out our dirty laundry a lot of times in front of rivals. The only times we can really have these type of conversations where we're highlighting stuff, for me personally, moving forward, it will be on this platform where it's just Chelsea fans and we can talk. Because I think we've done in terms of just us as a fan base, we've aired out too much of our dirty laundry for rivals' entertainment. I say this to say though, because as we're here as a family talking Chelsea family business right now, Drogba's my favorite player ever. He's only got 2 goals. He's only got 2 seasons above 20 goals in the league, but he's won 5 league titles. How was we able to compete when our leading talisman had 2 seasons with 20 plus goals in the league? Because he had a Jackson, he had a Lampard similar to the Jackson having a Palmer who's putting down 20 in the league consistently.
But if you go back to those leagues, when it was important. Exactly. When you go back to those leagues, that was my point. It's not about the quantity of goals, but the quality of goals. And he
semi-finals, finals.
Exactly.
That's
what I'm saying.
He was being a top level striker, bro.
And that's what I'm saying. So that's when you brought up stats. That's why I kind of cooled it on the stats, because the stats are not going to tell you when it's a 3rd goal in a 4-0 game. It's a 2nd goal in a 3-0 game. What I'm saying is, and I think what Guni is also saying is, Jackson has not proved that when it matters, he's going to score that important goals consistently.
Drogba got the reputation for clutch goals. Oh yeah, he scored in 2007 in the final, which at that point he was in his 2nd/3rd year at that point actually at the club. Jackson's 22 years old, just started his 2nd season. He was poor in the semi-final against Man City. I agree. He should have been buried with some chances. That's a fair point in what you're saying in terms of the big moments. I agree there. But now, the fact that we're having this conversation right now, I think is egregious. He blanked against Man City. Yeah. He scored the first goal. He scored the first goal against Wolves. Mm-hmm. He scored the first goals against West Ham. He scored the goal against. He scored the only goal we had against Crystal Palace. He missed the chance to win us the game. And then he didn't score against Brighton.
I think rewind the tape. I never put a limit on his thing. I said he could potentially improve. I'm just saying as of right now.
No, but
I also think we're getting for now. Like he's part of the most prolific partnership in the league.
Qualities that I'm hating on. To me, it's the fact of the matter is I'd rather have a different style of individual that I can use. That's not Jackson.
As an alternative to Jackson. That's another.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the biggest.
That's what I want to strike.
That's the biggest thing for me. In an alternative style of player to Jackson to give us a different type of swing at him.
Let me say this as well. And to many people's surprise, right? if we did sign that profile that you're talking about, I'm not going to be against keeping Jackson at the club. I'm definitely not. My main thing is that do not let this guy don't let him develop in that position right now. Let somebody else be there to help him, because that way as well, we've got more chance of winning things. He might develop and become that striker later on down the line. Who knows? But as of now, I need somebody who's prolific. I need somebody who's already got killer instinct in front of goal. That's a trait that you cannot teach. Instinct.
It's instinct in the box, aerial presence. Those are the two things that I would want differently too. It could be Giroud, bro. It could have been Giroud next to Jackson, and we would have been straight.
Would have been fine.
Like,
you guys just said something
like
very
that,
interesting.
we would have been straight. But that's the style of player I'm looking for. To be next to Jackson, to give him an alternative, to give them that different style of play that we could potentially bring into it. You know what I'm saying?
I was open to Gyökeres. I was open to Gyökeres because Gyökeres also can link up he can link up play as well at a high level. He does have the back to goal game. Joey, you asked earlier, barring that league, what's he done? He's got 20 goals in the championship. If people turn around now and say, "Oh, it's the championship," well.
I watched
Bro was the first one that brought that one up here.
I ain't saying that he can't do it in the Prem. I'm just saying these are things that you have to look at, right?
But another thing that Guni, you said, you don't want to develop strikers like in terms of developing strikers.
Like learning, I meant like learning on the job right now.
That's
what I mean. I don't want him to be the main focal number 9 while he's learning how to become a killer striker in that position, because that means we're going to lose out on many opportunities. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather have somebody that's there that he can learn alongside and to take the pressure off him.
No, I hear you.
What I mean.
That's the big part, is that there's too much pressure on Jackson.
But I think he's actually handling the fact that we have these type of conversations. But it makes me happy because and I can see it's pushing him to actually be a better player. If he was at Arsenal, there would be a lot of coddling amongst the fan base with us, just etc. The fact that I like to, as a fan base, I think we're the Real Madrid of the Premier League. We don't come and you have to earn our respect. With Jackson, I'm gonna just contextualize how well he's actually been performing. Just to mention, he's probably in the best partnership in the Premier League in terms of duos with Palmer anyway. But this is goals in their first 40 Premier League games. Nico Jackson has 18, DJ Drogba had 16, Luis Suarez had 12, Robin Van Persie had 8. He's on 18.
Fucking hell.
Which one of those players is he better than?
Bro, time will tell.
Which one of those players is he better than?
I can't say that because these man's game.
But Guni, we can't
This
say
is their
that
first
yet.
few games. This is their first few games, right?
Guni, here's the flaw around your argument. We saw what they became to be. We don't know what
that's true. Yeah, that's also
Jackson.
We don't know what Jackson is going to be.
But the only thing that the trajectory he's performing at is better than what these guys started out. That's what
the only thing I will give you here. Two things I will give you here is the partnership that he has with Palmer. Right? I don't want to mess that up right now. But again, goes back to my point. Now. When he's one-on-one, there's still a question mark. If he can clear that up, if he can consistently score goals and get rid of that question mark,
I don't even need
consistency.
So
I need 20% better. I need 20% better.
There it is.
20% better. That's what I need. I need 20% better.
I'm not here trying to advocate not getting a striker, by the way. I'm not here trying to say, Jackson is the finished article, XYZ. I just feel like, as a fan base, we need to actually give him some sort of credit for what he's done, because we do slander him a lot. We do need a striker.
Right.
He does get a lot. We do spend a lot of frustration towards him. But if we actually look at what he's done,
he's getting his credit from me, because I never thought that he'd improve as much as he has so far. So that's already credit. You know what I mean? One thing with me is that I will say when I'm wrong, and he has developed and he has progressed. But the matter of the fact is, and I still stand on it, if there are several players in that particular position that I think can come in and do a better job in front of goal, I'm taking that 100%.
Yeah, exactly. And Guni's listen, I don't want anyone, and I don't even think CB thinks this. I don't want anyone in the chat thinking we're arguing against CB trying to call we don't rate Jackson. We love Jackson.
Yeah, all of
we
us
absolutely love him, right?
I think all of us
his overall gameplay is better than some of the strikers of today, right? His overall game
90% better than every striker in
overall game is
Europe.
better than Haaland's overall game.
Right, okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand, but I think
There's
he
only
can
two strikers that I can say that
One
have
at a time,
truly better overall gameplay than him.
I think he can get better. I think he can get better. We're training from Maresca focuses on just the finishing, because I think his other areas of his game is very, very good. But if they just focus on his finishing, his decision making and stuff like that, he's still young enough to develop that. Do you know what I mean? He's still young. The brain's still young enough to develop that understanding. Do you know what I mean? He can still naturally do that. We're just thinking, are these? Luckily, so far this season, it's not really. Because I don't really see. Everyone highlights that Crystal Palace miss. That Madueke miss is more criminal in that game than that.
Definitely, 100%.
I was bad missing the whole game.
The fact that though that if all of us were honest, and I know CB has just said it as well a couple minutes ago, we weren't confident when he went through in that final, that 1-on-1 at the end against Crystal Palace, and that's what he needs. What he needs to do is get more consistent, and that wipes us. That whenever he's on a 1-on-1, we don't hesitate. We always back him to score. Exactly. That's what we can't. We're not there yet with him. That's the difference.
Exactly, and that's why everyone was so surprised against West Ham.
Right.
The one to the keeper leg, I lost my mind.
I actually wasn't surprised. You see the thing with Jackson?
I think people were onto him too much in the Bournemouth game. It was like one bad game, and then everyone's saying we need to drop him.
It's actually so unfair.
The second one was a little like, oh my god,
he was surprised.
You were surprised.
The guy has 7 GA in 6 games in the league so far this season.
I'm not talking about his stats. I'm just talking about, weren't you surprised about that finish? The second one, the outside of the foot.
The outside of the boot and everything. You gotta be a little surprised about it.
I didn't even clock that till I watched the game back. I'll be real.
The outside of the boot one is more. That just shows what he's like when he has confidence in front of goal.
Right.
This is the thing. That's why, as a fan base,
I was going to say what I took most from that
until the January window closes, where there's nothing we can do about having Jackson up top. He is our striker for the foreseeable future.
All right, listen, people, I don't need to cut it off. I've got to run. I've got to run. But this is the last thing that I'll say.
Yeah, go on, bro.
Jackson, that finish. What the message that I was given from him scoring like that was confidence.
Exactly, his confidence.
He's a confident striker finishes like that. So listen, long may it continue. I know a lot of people are triggered by my takes on Nicholas Jackson, but look, at the end of the day, I want him to mud me. I do. I want him to mud me because at the end of the day, it's better for him. It's better for Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
I hope that answers that last super chat as well, because again, we want to be wrong with certain players as well.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be proven wrong. I want Clearly to prove me wrong. I want Enzo to prove me wrong.
Every Chelsea fan should want that. No Chelsea fan should not want that.
If you don't want that, I question your fanhood. If you don't want that for our club and for what's going on, I actually truly question your fanhood.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you don't want us to be successful, like regardless on who is a part of the ownership group, who's like, if you don't actually want us to be successful, like that's when you really have to question fanhood.
That's
like,
when it's in the agenda, exactly.
Yeah.
So even with this super chat, listen, I've got no shame in admitting that I was wrong. For me, the jury's still out. But if your opinion is that I'm wrong, then so be it. I'll take it. You know what I mean?
So wait, Guni, so you're saying, because I know you're Musiala, you love Musiala, you think Palmer's better than Musiala, yeah, for sure.
Right now, I think he is. Right now, currently, I think he is. It's undeniable because it's on top of the goal scoring. It's the way Cole Palmer's just carried. Well, I wouldn't say carrying the Chelsea team, but it's his input into the team. What other player are you looking at around the world right now that has this level of effect for their team? Because he's involved in absolutely everything in terms of going forward.
I don't think he's fully 100% yet.
He's not. The amount of assists that he should have even had, in the last game, but we weren't able to finish
that ball to Jackson in a second.
I'm not trying to.
That's what I wanted to bring up. Like that,
and they acted like it was a bad miss.
Jackson should have scored that goal off of, even though we're up, right? We're up, no big deal, you know.
Yeah.
But that ball that Palmer hit, that looping ball into that space. It's like he deserved the goal.
It's a great block, though. You can't do anything about it.
Hold on. Can we critique that goal? Can we critique that goal?
That was good defending.
He took too many touches. That's what it
was.
was.
It was good defending. The thing is, the touch that he done kind of killed. It stopped his finish, but the touch was good. He needed to put it past the keeper.
No, that's not what did
good
it.
Touch. But
as a striker, to critique that goal, you know what killed Jackson right there was this.
Yeah.
Not
he does that too much,
trusting. Not trusting where to go. A true out-and-out striker doesn't even look up. It's swivel the hips, strike through the ball, and it's a goal. It's because he does this. That split second caused the defender to come back and stop the trajectory.
He is kind of a passer.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
The goal doesn't go nowhere.
The goal doesn't
striker,
move.
Head down, swivel the hip, strike to the ball, goal.
People, I've got to run, but
yo, love Guni, man.
Yo, it's been real having you on, man. Bless up, bro. Big up, bro.
I'm
trying to find that.
Now that we're on the topic of Palmer, yeah, I'm at pissed off the panel, innit? I'm gonna piss off the panel. I already know.
Oh no, here we go.
Having debates at home.
It's because I'm here, right? It's because I'm here, right?
I'm a trophies guy. I want to preface this by saying I am a trophies guy. For me, trophies is the be-all and end-all. That's the aim of the game. Professional football is for winning trophies at the end of the day. But I say this to say, I think Palmer's better than Hazard. I know he ain't won enough yet. I think he's better than him in terms of creativity. He's a better goal scorer than him. I think in terms of the impact, we need to realize in terms of Hazard, we do tell each other a lot of lies. Like I said, we air out a lot of our dirty laundry in platforms in front of rivals. I would never have this discussion in front of not just Chelsea fans, because the rivals are going to see this.
Yeah,
fair.
Here's the thing.
I want to hear your opening arguments, and then I will share.
I actually have to go for this one. I'm sorry. It's not anything against UCD. It's not against the question. I actually have something with work I have to do, so I do apologize. I just realized the time. It's 9 o'clock here, so I got to get back to work. I apologize. I'll be back. I'll try to answer that question later, though, CB. I promise you.
Take care, my bro.
Big up, bro. Big up, bro. Let's open on.
If I could go first, because
definitely.
I'm actually going to say something that might surprise a lot of people. I agree with you, CB, and I'll tell you why I agree with you. Because when we start, a lot of people don't know. Remember this. When we signed Hazard, there was a lot of background noise about Hazard, right? When we signed him, right? He'd already won a couple of leagues with Lille, captained them. There was something there with this guy. When we signed him, I don't care who you are, even myself, I'll admit, I was like, huh? Do you know what I mean? I was like, what? And I said this on a stream, and I'm older than you guys. I'm pre-Roman, very pre-Roman, and this was out when we signed players. There was no social media. The player I put him to when I didn't have any expectations was Gianfranco Zola. I compared him to Gianfranco Zola because of the impact Zola made. He won Player of the Year. We signed him in November of '97. He won Player of the Year that year within 6 months. Okay, this guy's numbers and why I think he will might be the only things that we've got to win trophies, and that's what Hazard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think Hazard obviously has other things over him. I think he's a better dribbler and stuff like that, and he's got better skill set. But I think he's more of a killer. We've seen it. I think he's more selfish, and in terms of taking chances, that was always my biggest fear with biggest fear with Hazard. I wish he was a little bit more selfish, not totally selfish, just a tiny bit more selfish, so he got more goals. But the impact he's made, no one expected. Rivals, the hardest, even the ones who thought good signing, who did not expect this type of impact as he's having right now. But he needs to win things.
I agree. He needs to win.
And also he needs to do it. And Hazard didn't really do much in Champions League, but Palmer to get over, we need to get in Champions League, and he needs to do it in the biggest of big games as well, because that's what. But I slightly agree with you.
You see with Hazard, there's a lot of as a fan base, we ignore a lot of his crimes. The guy had 9 Champions League goals for us, two Champions League knockout goals. Right. Both of them were penalties. He missed a sitter. against Atletico Madrid in 13-14 second leg, which cost us a final appearance. He went 366 days without a goal. This is not me slandering Hazard as well.
I'll catch you later. Yeah, I got to shoot.
All right, take care, bro. Bless up.
This isn't me slandering Hazard, by the way. I would only have these conversations.
We know that.
I love Hazard to bits, but we can't act like this guy was immortal. You know, this is the truth here. In terms of output, in terms of goals, in terms of putting the team on his back, I can't lie. I'm giving it to Palmer. Palmer's playing in the worst team.
I think that's because Hazard was just primarily a playmaker at heart. And like, that's my thing. As a creator, I don't think Palmer comes close to Hazard. As a goal scorer, I can hear the argument. But that's the thing, because I
think as a creator, he's there though. I think he can talk to Hazard as a creator. We just had a whole discussion.
Might be able to talk, but like, I don't think he's at the level. He's not a Hazard level playmaker. Like, Hazard was brilliant from playmaking from deep, from all sorts of areas of the pitch. But that's where the problem comes. I think it's becoming more of an output argument when it comes to Palmer versus Hazard. And like that one, Palmer's going to have the better numbers than him. And he's also like done it from earlier, which is why I can hear that sort of argument. But as a player, Hazard's a much better playmaker than him, much better dribbler. I think Palmer, for me, is just, he's a bit more, he's got more killer instinct in front of goal. He's more willing to take it on for himself as opposed to look for other players. I feel like that's just it for me, personally.
How do you feel, my bro?
Honestly, I think it's a non-starter for me, only because I view them as two different mold of players. What do I mean by that? When I watch Hazard, Hazard is the eye test. You watch Hazard to go and watch the game. He will create by dribbling, create for himself, link up with the players. But his link is to you give it back to me. You do nothing else with the ball, and then he finishes. From my point of view, Hazard for me is a pure out-and-out winger, right? When it comes on to Palmer is that 10 that can do a job off the right, but he's that 10 molding into a second striker. So you expect him to get more goals, right? If I'm going to go off stats, Hazard will never be up there in the top 10 in the Premier League. When you go off player, he's going to be up there in the top 10. And there's an argument to say that over the course of the seasons that Hazard played in this league, we didn't properly build the team around him. We didn't give him pieces where he could
It's not even an argument, it's facts.
Yes, exactly. Where he could
the best he had was half a season of Diego Costa.
And then
remember, half it was.
Exactly. And then remember, it's not like we deployed Hazard to just do one job, like Salah is deployed to just play off the left, because you have other players to create for him. Hazard had to create and finish majority of the time he was here. So I cannot view them as the same type of player. If we're going to go off stats, Palmer is going to win. He did him in goals and assists in his first season. For whatever Hazard did. So it kind of makes no sense. So for me, two different type of players, and I'm not
I think you see with Hazard, like in terms of, as a winger, in terms of as he was a joy to watch, in terms of dribbling, in terms of, he was the best dribbler I think the league's probably ever seen, in my opinion. Ball carrying, he was ultra creative. He was very unselfish, and I think he was unselfish to his own detriment a lot of times as well. But the type of player that Hazard was, he needs to play alongside a killer. Hence,
exactly. But we didn't always give him my killer, so that's why I can't properly.
I understand that, but like we just had a whole 20-minute discussion on how Jackson isn't a killer, and Palmer doesn't need to play alongside a killer. He's getting it done regardless.
Because Jackson is supposed to be a killer. He's supposed to be an out-and-out striker. Hazard is supposed to be a winger. What's the job of a winger? Take on a fullback, beat your fullback, and create for others. Hazard is not supposed to be a killer, right?
The fact that we barely played him up top.
Exactly. Barely. And the fact that he gave us that level of performances.
And when we did, he didn't even like playing in the middle. He said, I'm a left winger. I like playing off the left. I don't like playing like as a false nine or anything. I remember him complaining a lot about doing that role when Conte was in charge.
Yeah, they're two different people. I can't compare. For me, I can't compare them, and I refuse to. Because I understand him.
But I look at it like just on the impact on that Palmer has on us, where we know we can rely on him. Even though that this, if we're being honest, if we put Hazard in this team, this is probably Hazard's worst team that he's played on with. That's just the truth.
If you put him in the team now,
not from when Palmer joined last season. Hazard never played, was never surrounded around that many bums. We could say, he had a couple years, like his last year under Surrey, the fact he had Higuain playing with him, and that was criminal.
I don't know, because
towards the end it got worse. At the start, it was more just Torres wasn't it. Dembele never got enough minutes. Diego Costa was like the only real one he had, and even he was only good for half a season, and he disappeared the other half.
No, if we go 14-15, for example, yeah, I think that was the best team Hazard had around him. He had Matic and he had Fabregas behind.
Yeah.
He had. I think the defense was solid. He had Diego Costa. He had Willian. Who was in the 10? Was it Oscar?
Mm-hmm.
Oscar. I think. Yeah, it was Oscar. It was Oscar, Willian, Hazard. Yeah.
So I would say that sort of player, that sort of team. I mean, if you put Palmer in that team, we're challenging comfortably. But I think we do better in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. That's my issue.
Essentially, I think we bottled that PSG game. No, honestly, they were down to 10 men and we got bottled.
We bottled. Even the year before 13-14, I think we should have went to the final, man. That political, but the way Mourinho set up the team was horrible.
Did Aspi left wing, bruv?
Yeah, that was terrorism.
But because if you look at it now, Prime Hazard walks into this starting 11, easily takes up the left wing, and then you can argue we're title challengers at that point. Right, so I don't think the thing is it's hard to answer your question because a lot of it was done to Poch. Like if you look how Poch set up last season, any team he coached would have been trash, you know. So if it's the same group of players under a better manager, and you put Hazard into this team, it's a title-winning team, in my opinion.
And the reason why I say this argument in terms of Palmer. Why I'm even making this creating this discussion is because this is how high I rate Palmer. But now I'm also holding him accountable to the big moments. I want to rely on you. For example, that Carabao Cup final, he missed a sitter that like everyone gets onto Gallagher. But he wasn't the only one that missed chances. Enzo had a back heel 1-on-1 in front of goal. Nkunku missed a chance. Jack Sterling missed a chance, and Palmer did too. So in terms of these big moments, I expect you to be the guy that stands up for us. I'm not gonna lie. I want Palmer to stand up in these big moments. I want you to take ownership because this is when we can really have these discussions. But I say those to say, barring the league, which I can't. Obviously, the league he did a big job. Like the Hazard in the league, that was his league for a good 7-8 years. That was his league. No one's gonna take that away from him. But Hazard's downfall is the way we can't talk about Hazard to the highest level when you consider the generation of wingers that he played at the same time as, is because he didn't have the European, his European pedigree wasn't there. It was non-existent.
Not only that, his stats, his goal output and input was to what it should be from a selfish perspective. As a Hazard fan, his goal output, I wanted more.
Yeah, I agree.
But even then, it was like I never thought he was wasteful or anything. I didn't look at him and think, he's been missing fuck tons of points in this period.
He had the eye for goal like that. He didn't want goals. He wanted to get everyone involved, and that's him. But for example, Palmer against Brighton, he had that chance where he could have squared Jackson. He decided to keep going, dink the keeper, and hit the post. That mentality.
That's the thing. Some players are like that though. Like Ronaldinho never really pulled up numbers like that in general. But like the level of football that you're getting with him.
Yep, and that's why I can't compare the two. It is what it is.
I think if anything, Willian's got more UCL goals than Ronaldinho. I saw that stat going around. There's like crazy.
Ronaldinho's Champions League record is not that great, but that generation I look at it a bit differently. There wasn't really a mad prolific goal scoring generation. The best goal scorers of that era was R9, for example. He only has 13. Yeah, he only has 13 Champions League goals as well, though. So it's a bit of a weird one. But another thing with Hazard as well. Now, this is what, for me, obviously, that Euros final when Palmer's come off the bench and scored a goal. Hazard's international career, this is very early in Palmer's career in terms of international football. The way things are going, I do feel like even the way pundits are talking, I saw Gary Lineker talking about Palmer on Match of the Day. He was saying that's the best English talent. He said he's better than Foden, XYZ. Carragher's saying that he's the best player in the league. He felt that last season, but we weren't winning games. He feels that he's the best player in the league right now. The way things are going, we're building this England team around Palmer now. And in terms of international career, Hazard had the best team of the generation. The 2010s, Belgium were the best team. They were number one in FIFA rankings every year. They were favourites all the time. They got knocked out in the Euro 2016 against Wales. They never touched the final. These type of things, you look at it in terms of just your legacy as a player, is an asterisk under his name.
See, but here's the thing with the international competition. The international competition is kind of... I don't like to... Yeah, but
they had a perfect 11. But that Belgium team on paper, they had Lukaku in his prime. They had KDB.
I know, but it was De Bruyne and Lukaku that let them down in the semis.
Yeah,
their defense was top. The only thing that Hazard has in his international career is that game against Brazil, and the type of talent that Hazard is, we shouldn't be looking at it like that there should be a lot more to be said about it.
Bro, Hazard's got the whole tournament. Not just the one game against Brazil. Like, that's the centerpiece of his whole tournament in general. But even the France game, he was fucking cooking them. The problem is, it was just him. De Bruyne, I think, had the second most turnovers of a player in World Cup history that game since records began. And then also he broke that himself in the next World Cup. But like, that's how bad he was in that France game. Lukaku disappeared. Hazard was doing his thing in that match. Did a swing against England. I think he got both goals in that game, or he at least got one. Brazil dominated. Japan dominated group stages. Like, everyone was saying he should have won player of the tournament. The only reason why Modric won was because he went to the final instead.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pogba was better than him in that tournament.
And here's the thing. I don't like to use international
Pogba had a good
competition
tournament as well.
to compare players, because what about those players that are head and shoulders above other people in their domestic league, but their international team is trash? So anytime someone brings in the international competition, I kind of phase out, because it's not fair across the board. Look at Lewandowski.
I understand that, but you see, with Belgium's case, they generally had a starting 11 and a bench. That team was a very, very. Everyone expected that team to win something.
Yeah, and honestly, that's why I'll never forgive Kevin De Bruyne, bro. Because if he even made that final, I think Hazard might have taken the Ballon d'Or that year.
Facts.
Now he don't get anything because De Bruyne and Lukaku decided to disappear against France. Drives me fucking insane.
I agree. I want to say this to say, like, I don't want you guys to think I slander Hazard. Hazard's my favorite player ever. I love Hazard.
Guys, the chat ain't no slander.
Yeah, it's not like I'm opening this dialogue because we're all Chelsea fans. Sometimes, as Chelsea fans, we can have these uncomfortable conversations as a family. I would never go on the terrace.
At least we're talking about one of our own in Parma.
Yeah, exactly. I would never go on football terrace and open this dialogue and do no chance. This is in-house family business here that we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying this because I feel like, obviously, as of now, Hazard is the better player, 100%. But I think when it's all said and done, I think Palmer will have a better legacy than him. That's
you know what? I hope you're correct. Because that would mean he has fucking bossed it here over the next 5, 6, 7 years. Mm-hmm. So that's not something I think us as Chelsea fans should even hope against. Eden Hazard is Eden Hazard. Even if Palmer ends up overshadowing him, he's still going to be a legend to this club. That's not going to change a damn thing. But if he does that, then God knows what we're in store for. Which is fucking mental.
We just the club and the team just needs to put themselves in a place where Palmer can rise. You know, it's all fine said and done that he should be doing this, but unless we're in those semi-finals, unless we're in those last games of the league to where we need him to rise, it's all gonna be mute. We're gonna have another hurricane situation, but we have to. The club itself has to get back to those levels.
And now that we just don't,
we're on the right track.
Now we don't dwell too much on just criticize, like comparing in terms of our own greats against each other. I think Palmer's the best player in the league also. And I think we need to start pushing this campaign now as a fan base. Same. This guy's the best player in the league. We need to be
see them debating Palmer or Haaland. Who would you take? I dead ass would take Palmer. I don't need Haaland if I've got Palmer. He's got the most goal involvements in the league in the last year. Not in the league, in Europe in the last year. Only Kane does.
Okay, so you're saying if he was building a team blank checkbook, you're taking.
Oh yeah, get both then. Get both. Yeah. But then, if you're doing a Palmer or Haaland, because the debate was
one or the other blank checkbook. You're starting a team. You have to choose one or the other. You're taking Palmer over Haaland.
Yeah,
I'm taking Palmer.
You know why? The reason why I'm taking Palmer is not because of his goal scoring ability, but because of his playmaking ability. The chances he puts on a plate for whoever's running onto it, it's nonchalant. As in, you don't have to think about it. When you think about it is when you mess up. So I don't have to get Jackson. I could get a guy Carres. I put the chance on the plate. He's gonna convert. You understand what I'm saying? Versus Haaland, you would have to buy 2 or 3 players to put to build a team around him to put those chances on the plate. I'd rather get someone that's going to give me goals and that level of assist, and then just puts one person in front of him versus buying 2 attacking midfielders, 2 wingers to create 4 Haaland. That's the difference.
But you see when we have these type of discussions. But sorry, go on, Liz, bro.
No, I was just bringing this up because, like, this is the point I'm trying to make. So he's got about 6 more goals than Haaland. No, 6 less goals than Haaland, and can give you the playmaking on top. And that's just basically it. That's the reason why I'm taking him over Haaland, because he's going to give me both of them, and because of that, the striker's also going to be doing his job as well.
Yeah. I would say I agree with you guys. But you see, when the fact that we're having this conversation, when we're saying, okay, Palmer is the best player in the league, potentially one of the best players in the world. We can't really, like, the only way we can really finesse us by this season saying Palmer's the best player in the world is if we win the Club World Cup. Hopefully we do. I actually think we could do that.
Same.
And that, so at this current moment of time, we're saying Palmer's the best player in the league. Me, I think Caicedo's the best midfielder in the league. If you put his attacking numbers up there in terms of as an 8, compare him to the attacking 8s in the league, his numbers go toe-to-toe with most of these, man. Forward passes, chance created, line breakers, etc. Then you consider the defensive numbers, you put him next to the Declan Rice's, his numbers are ridiculous. More clearances, more tackles won, duels won, aerial duels won. He's killing that from both sides of the game. We have the best player in the league in Palmer. We have the best midfielder in the league with Caicedo. Why can we not challenge for the title?
All right. This is where I leave. Brother, one game at a time. It's good listing out your accolades, but one game at a time. I don't want any hype. I don't want any of that. Just act like you don't see us, right? Because our defense is still need to be fixed. Our still need a bit more stability, right? All I'm saying is one game at a time. You can list out your accolades, but don't, because here's the thing. If we had gone through a rough period in competitive games, and I could tell you how Maresca handles it, and then we come out with winning success, then I could say, okay, you know what? Then maybe. Nah, that rough patch is going to come. After that rough patch, then I can see you.
Okay, let's say, for example, just playing devil's advocate here. I don't know. This next run of games, after the international break, we leave with 10 points. 10 out of 12 points.
Give me one second.
How are you feeling in terms of our title aspirations?
Top 4, solid top 4. I've been burnt by this team too much times, and it's been a while since we've compete for a league title. And this is a new group together, right? I get being optimistic. I love that we're having this conversation. I love that we're not having a meltdown such as we did last season. But all I'm saying is one game at a time. After the Liverpool game, after the City, after the United game, after the Arsenal game. Because realistically, if you think about it, we're just winning the games that we're expected to win.
That's what I'm saying. If we get
whether we are crap Chelsea or whether we are good Chelsea, we're still expected to win these games.
Do you know why I'm so optimistic? Yeah, why my hopes are so I'm forcing this title push, because if this doesn't work this season and we end up capitulating, we're dusted. This is our last hope in terms of the project, the new manager, all of this, the directors, the certain players that are on here. Everyone is on their lifeline.
That doesn't mean title race this season.
No, you're too draconian with it. Because think about it, bro. Logically,
I hear it.
Logically, how do you build? If we finish top 4, exactly. If we finished 6th last season, right? We're not gonna go over. We're not gonna go all over about it. Just look at it. We finished last season. If we finish comfortably top 4 this season, then next season I hear it all the way. Because we would have had a season under Maresca, we would have seen the chinks in the armors that we need to address in the transfer window, or structure-wise, and then we can go again. But remember, this is Maresca's first season, and he's quote-unquote an inexperienced manager at this level. I'm not putting expectation, and I'm not getting overhyped for a title charge.
Because then it's just going to lead to disappointment.
Exactly. If it was a Conte who's been there, done it before, I'm not saying Conte the manager, but someone of his mold, then I hear it because he's been there, done it before. Maresca has only done it with the championship. He hasn't done it in a top league.
No, but
before.
you see, this is the thing, that people are not realizing, Inside the Chelsea camp, they want to win the title. Maresca came in on his first day and said to these players, I'll come here as an English champion. I want to start preseason again as an English champion. These are his words. The guy in there. That's why he's saying outside. He's not been saying it in presses, but that's why he's saying in his presses. No, we.
I was gonna say because I heard him saying he's got no targets for this season.
Said, no, he's saying he don't want to discuss top 4. That's what he's saying. He said no one's spoken to me about top 4. No, we're not going for top 4. He is not out and out saying I don't want to go for the title. Fabrizio, who's an earpiece to the board, yesterday said, "Oh yeah, these lot are gonna be contenders for the season this year." He's a winner. These guys want to win. So if in-house, a lot of the players, even players I've spoken to, they're saying themselves, "Yeah, I can't lie, we want to win the league." I'm looking at the way the league landscape is today in terms of in comparison to the rest of the league. This season reminds me a lot of 13-14 season where it was a 4-legged title race. It was very open. Man City were there, Liverpool were there, we were there. It was it's one of those ones because KDB, Rodri are out, for example. I don't think obviously City, they're a well-oiled machine, but you look at their team on paper, I generally don't feel like they are the same team. I feel like everyone says this every year, but they do have their flaws. They are beatable. I look at Arsenal, they're not playing the same type of football. Fair enough, they did actually have the toughest spell out of all the top 6 teams. They've gone out of it unbeaten. They've had injuries, but with this Champions League format, with all the depth, I don't see them and Liverpool keeping up. I genuinely believe we have enough to compete for the title. I'm not saying if we win the title. Yes, bro.
How do you compete for a league title?
Consistency.
How do you get consistency?
Just winning games, right? Doing our job.
Okay, if you're doing that, right? Going into a run of games, how do you focus on winning those games?
One game at a time.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
any team that wins a title, unless they did it the year over consecutive years, any team that wins a title for the first year under a new group of players, it's always one game at a time. So me saying one game at a time doesn't mean it cannot result in a title race. It only literally means one game at a time.
Oh, I completely understand. You see the way I feel.
So this whole title talk, take that, bin that.
But I don't want us to be going into the early parts of the season where we're 2 points off top of the table right now, and we're as Chelsea fans saying we want top 4, we want top 4. That is not Chelsea. I refuse to accept.
Bro,
that.
The fans can say whatever they want.
I hear it, but like it's more like that was the target at the start of the season, and it's maintaining that until you see enough to say, okay, targets can change. I can now look at the title and think that that's a realistic aim for us this season.
Yeah.
For now, like we've done pretty well, but for the first season under a new manager and a new style of play, I'm expecting a setback at some point. I don't want to keep talking it into existence, but I expect there to be some sort of like instability soon. How we handle it is how we handle it. I'm not going to say it's going to completely derail our season, but we know what it takes to go for the title. We've seen what Man City are on. You need 90-point seasons. I'm not expecting that right now.
And with those setbacks, you combat them one game at a time. Cool. Exactly. Let me give an example. We beat Nottingham Forest. We slip up against Liverpool, draw or defeat. The next game, you have to attribute that, okay, Liverpool was a one-off. We go back into the same system. We tweak this, we tweak that, one game at a time. So whether good or bad, it's going to come down to that one game at a time.
Do you know what this season's reminding me of? Yeah, is Arsenal's first title push. Not last year, the year before, when they signed Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko, and they just missed top 4 by, I think it was 3 points. We missed top 4 by 5 points.
Yeah, and then the year after that.
Then they just started the season strong. They were just steamrolling teams. They were looking like a serious force. The same way everyone's going around like, oh, bro, Chelsea are actually looking a bit serious. That's the way Arsenal were getting looked at till we got to November, December, and they were like, wait, Arsenal are still here. Okay. By February, March, it was a title race. They fell off after Saliba got injured. That's the excuse, but they just ain't got the cojones. That's just them. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, why can we not do what they just done 2 years ago? I think we're in the same stage of their project because we're on year 3. For their first 2 years of the project, we already outperformed them. They finished 8th. We done 12th, 6th. So now year 3 of their project, they went second in the league. They challenged for the title. Why can't we do that? And as well as that, internally, the club want the title. I need to remind you guys that when this project was put forth, they said this was a 4-window plan to have us compete for the title. The 4th window closed at the end of August. it's time to compete. Everyone internally wants to compete. I think we have a squad big enough to do it. We've got the depth to do it. I don't think the rest, barring Man City, I don't think the rest of the league are actually that good. Defensively, we are improving. We kept, for the first time in how long, we had 3 clean sheets in a row, 2 in a row in the league. We ain't had that in a long time. It's upsetting that I can't really push on because of the Brighton game. Defensively, we killed ourselves. But we are improving defensively. Like one of my greatest, I would say, improvements for me in terms of Maresca this year and Poch is out of possession. Our shape is actually better. We can see we're more compact, we're more defensively sound. A lot of the goals that we've actually conceded has been our own mistakes. Those things will come with the system that we are playing. Eventually, we just get better with time.
Here's the thing. Here's the flaw in your argument, CB. Right? The 4-window plan would have been valid if we had the same manager. Each time we change the manager, that pushes back that plan, because you know what happens? The team and the players have to get used to a new structure, which then delays the development, right? I would be on Nkunku delusional land right there with you, brother, if we had Maresca from last season. If we finished top 4 last season, because that manager knows
4-window plan with the same coach. That's
exactly
what I was thinking.
You know why? Because that manager knows you definitely cannot work in my system. For me to get this team over the line in my system, I need this, and that. Maresca still doesn't know that yet. And
he said that in the press conference today, by the way.
He
said we're ahead of my expectations. We're doing well, but we have many, many things we need to improve. We're happy. The feeling is good.
Yeah.
And that's my thing as well.
I didn't even watch the press conference today, but anyone that's watching ball and knows ball long enough, you know that when it comes on to the level of competing for a title, is these minute fine points. These little things gets you over the line. Now, I hate to go back to Pochettino, but I said this on my podcast that I did with Lewis. I was craving stability because stability eventually breeds success with the right manager. Right? So, if Maresca can continue, next season, I will be on that cuckoo land for a title. Especially if he finishes top 4. Because then you should know what you need to fix to get us over that line. Which is why I have some little but no respect for Arteta and Arsenal. Because if you look at it, you're there, 4 or 5 years? By now, you should know the top priority is a striker and someone to back up Saka and Martinelli. And you still haven't addressed that. Those are the little things that prevent people from winning titles or not.
That's why, in terms of what you said about the little minute points and small margin, that's why the Crystal Palace game really pissed me off. If we beat Crystal Palace, we're top of the table right now as well. And it's these little things there that is going to come to bite us in the title race. In terms of top 4, I think we've got top 4 in the bag. It's about the first 10 games. If we just keep up the next 4 games, like for example, Tottenham were in the top 4 from the last day. Their form was dreadful from after they faced us, and they kept it there until the last day. So in terms of top 4, I don't worry about us getting in the top 4. The reason I'm aiming for the title is because I believe if you aim for the stars, you land on the moon. I don't mind that.
From that perspective, I can hear it. If it's that perspective where you aim as high as you can, and wherever you land, I can hear it from that perspective. But realistically, for a title,
and we got to
one game at a time.
And we've got to keep the standard also. Yeah, of course, there's one game at a time.
All right, here's the balance. When the standard has been in the mud for the past 2 seasons, you have to raise it to a respectable level, not a delusional level.
Also, we have had times on the Roman where the target was top 4 too.
Exactly. So the respectable and
it's just not consistently top 4.
Is top 4 a convincing top 4. I don't mean that you finish top 4 by default because another team is trash. I mean like we finished convincingly top 4.
As in we finished second or third and we missed the title by 9 points. I don't mind that type of top 4. I will live with that top 4. I don't want the top 4s where it's the last day and we're hoping another team drops points. I hate that stuff. The only time for me under Roman, this reminds me of this, international breaks coming up. Yeah, we need to have this discussion about the Roman, what he was talking about in terms of just going over the flaws in Roman's tenure, which I hate to talk about. But in terms of under Roman, the only times I recall us actually going for top 4 was when we had the transfer ban on the Lampard, and it was like, okay, we need top 4. That was really the aim. Other than that, it's never. We've always wanted the title going into the season, and we've just been let down. Like Sarri, for example, his season, we was 10 games unbeaten until Liverpool came. I think it was Sturridge that hit the dagger on us, and he killed us.
No, it was a Spurs game. Spurs away at Wembley.
Spurs. Oh, okay, yeah.
But even
I remember that one, but I think maybe that one was more just me never thinking we were going to come close to that with the squad. Because I think for us to go for the league title with the squad that we had at that time compared to Liverpool and City, it was insane.
Yeah,
and at that time, it was just bare bones.
But another thing as well, where I see where we are at, where even I would live with not challenging for the title if it's the Club World Cup, because where we are right now is very reminiscent of 18-19 Liverpool, where it was Klopp's run where they were just they're bagging bare goals. Actually,
but 6 games.
I'd argue 17-18.
No, 18-19, 17-18 Liverpool, where their games are finishing 4-3, 6-4, all of this when we're just outscoring teams, but defensively we're not there yet. That's prior to the Van Dijk signing. When you can see the football they're playing, attacking wise, is there, but defensively it's not there. But we've got the attacking formula, we've got the basis that we need. We just need the 1-2 needle movers. They got the Alisson and the Van Dijk in 17-18 that got the job done.
My bro,
we ain't got that yet. But then you could argue, that Sanchez is our Ramsdale, where we can still compete with him, but he might not be what we need to get it done. But we can definitely still compete with Sanchez. I don't know, man. If the
defense is there, then you can account for a bad goalkeeper, I guess. But even then, like Sanchez more just had a bad game. I don't think it's fair calling him a bad goalkeeper off that. Be a bit more reactionary.
I mean, it's been a whole year though.
I know, but like he was actually in really good form before the Brighton game, and then he just dropped 2 howlers. And even then, I think his game was good, bar the howlers. It's just as a goalkeeper, you can't have them bozo moments. Bozo moments equal goals.
But
Simple
Lewis,
as.
if you look at it again, the reason why I keep highlighting 6 games, it's a 38 game season. That means there's 32 games left to be played, right? Let's mark this one for Sanchez. What if he goes on an unbelievable run for the next 10 games? Then we can look at this as an anomaly, right?
I hear it. It's like Nicholas Jackson. One bad game doesn't mean not good enough.
Exactly. It's too early to make any definite judgment on these players. If 16 games in, we're back here, we can have a proper conversation. I'm not making any title race, not making any definitive, not giving any definitive answer. On the goalkeeper, yes, last season we've seen what I'm still giving him time because he shows things for improvement this season, right? Nicholas Jackson, same thing. 16 games in, we'll have a better conversation because we'll see the points tally. We'll see a more plethora or a more baseline of games of what these players are used to under this system.
Just quickly, expect Palmer to be in the England team for the international break quickly. Just wanted to bring that up from the Pies tweet, but yeah, cool. Again, as long as he don't get injured, I don't give a damn. Don't give a damn. Shout out to Mitchy Boy. Says, well done on 50k. Have a Starbucks on me, bro. Big up to you, my guy. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that's super chatting and everybody that's watching as well. Felix says, remember 21-22? People said we could win the Premier League and the Champions League. Don't get gassed before December because anything can happen to our players. God forbid. Teams can adjust to us. Yeah, that's why I'm trying I don't want to talk down this energy because I like that we're in this conversation. I like that we can have these discussions. I just don't want the expectation in for us to be disappointed afterwards, potentially.
The fact that we can even talk like this, is we've been starved of this for 2 years, man. Excuse me, but the reason why I'm so, I'm too gassed over what we've seen so far is just off the fact that we have actually starved. When we get back to the top, it's coming. We're going to be so unbearable. I want to be unbearable because we've suffered. The way we've suffered, I never even thought we'd be back here so soon, if I'm being honest. The fact that we're playing at this level, I know it's early in the season, but the fact that we're sitting in that top 4, 2 points away from the top of the table. I have to pinch myself sometimes. The fact that I'm seeing this, it actually makes me so happy. I've been down bad when it comes to Chelsea, you know. You guys forget, I went to a protest by myself. No one showed up.
Bro, we were doing up road to 40 points till May, bro. I hear it.
We was in the mud. So
Bro, it's 6 games. Gamma. Bro, it's 6 games. It's 6 games. I understand the feeling of the top of the table's right there. But we don't want to be Spurs, bro. We don't want to be
You know
one of
what
those
it is?
clubs.
It's the first 6 games over the last 6. That's what it is. When
Yeah,
it's the last
exactly.
few games, it's like you've seen so much shit that this little run don't do anything for me because I've seen enough. When you
Exactly.
start it off, I feel like, okay, cool. Where I hear CB is like, you could start as you mean to go on. You could. It's just the key word there is could. So
like
I
after
can't
10
predict
games,
it.
I'll be gassed. 10 games, I'll be on the moon. But 6 games, I'm calm. And I want to see the type of performance we put in against Liverpool.
That will tell me
that's
everything. The thing for me. I want, because especially with Liverpool, I want to see if we got the big game gene with Maresca. Like Maresca's ticking all the boxes for me. But if he's got cojones in the big games, I'm ready to go to war for him. But in terms of Liverpool, why that one's really important to me. Not only are they the best defense in the league, we're the best attack in the league. I want to see how serious this attack is. 1, but 2. They play a similar style of football to us in terms of they play the 4-2-3-1. They're gonna play the high line. They're gonna want to go toe to toe. They're gonna want to get us in transition. Is literally the ideal game to see the level that we are really at. So after the Liverpool game, if we get humbled, I'm gonna lick my wounds. I'm gonna say, all right, cool, maybe we're not where we think we're meant to be. But then again, we've got United coming up. We've got Arsenal coming up. If I would take a loss to Liverpool if it means we beat Arsenal and United any day of the week. So it's just like, let's see, innit?
Let's start with the Nottingham
Imagine
Forest.
we beat all 3 of them.
If we pack in Nottingham Forest, I'm shooting for a draw against Liverpool. Best win, but I don't want anything less than a draw.
Yeah, that's me right now. I want at least a point.
Obviously, don't lose, but like the draw will all depend on the nature of it. If that could be a good draw, that could be a terrible draw. It could be one or the other.
Yeah, that's true, because we could be winning the game 3-0 and a couple of howlers makes it 3-3.
Mm-hmm. Well, we could be getting bopped off the park and they don't bury their chances. We get a late equalizer or something.
We need to prepare for that low block against Forest. It's going to be a straight low block. They're going to get us in transition with Morgan Gibbs-White, with Cho. They've got the quality to punish us on the break. They've done it before last season. Now it's about us beating the low block allegations, because now everyone keeps saying, oh yeah, just don't play high line against Chelsea. It's the high line. Oh, they can't handle the low block. We struggled against Bournemouth. We struggled in the second half against Palace. This is a big test for us to know, how are we going to deal with low blocks moving forward? If we can do this at a high level, then once again, the title race is on.
I hear it. Like, we should be doing it just off the nature of it being Nottingham Forest. And it's going to be a low block, but it shouldn't be anything that we struggle too much with, especially the personnel that we have. We have Cole Palmer who can work well in tight spaces. Same thing with Sancho. It'll be just about trying to find Nicholas Jackson in the central areas. Now, how difficult that is, we'll find out. But I feel like we got enough creativity on both flanks now that we should be able to stretch the defense a little bit more. A lot more than we would do like last season, because last season was just we're a right side team. Everything's off the right hand side and we do fuck all on the left. Now we can do both.
Now. Yeah, and the only thing I would nitpick with what you said, Lewis, is Jackson can create. Centrally, if you give the ball into him and you have runners off him, he can do a one flick. He can dribble himself. So it's not just finding him to hold up the play. Play the ball into him. He'll beat players himself. He'll have to beat players. So.
I was thinking more like how compact the central areas will be, but again, we have the creativity on both wings to stretch that now.
I also think he causes Van Dijk and Konate a lot of problems. You've seen it, the games we've played them. He actually stretches that defense.
Bro, the Carabao Cup final, we were doing hoofball tactics to Jackson, and he still made 3 chances. I don't know how he even did that.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Build up play wise, he's good. It's really good.
I think Jackson needs is I would love if it was even like a 4-4-2 sort of situation where he's playing with a serious bagsman next to him and they're just playing off each other. I don't know, man, but I'll say in 2 years' time, Jackson will probably be the finished article.
Yeah, we give him time. Super chat.
Shout out to Dylan saying, is there enough credit in the bank for Maresca for the season already? Even if he goes and loses 3-5 of the games after the international break. Shout out to Prime. Inexperience, of course. Look, first off, it all depends on the nature of the games, but like losing 3 out of 5, like No, that's going to be a complete drop off in the form that we've seen before. So there's going to be questions that are asked regardless of whatever manager would even go on that sort of run. We can't be saying, "Oh, it's okay. We've lost to Newcastle, Arsenal, and Liverpool." No, because now we've just shown like we can't really hang with the stronger teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because after the international break, we play Liverpool, Panathinaikos, and Newcastle. So we should be. That's 2 wings right there, in my opinion. Newcastle,
2 different teams.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Tomorrow, we're gonna rotate fully again.
Exactly, and we have United to play, which should be a win. But we'll see.
Shout out to Tanya as well, saying Palmer best in the world. Let's push that. Don't let them force this Foden Saka nonsense. Our boy is miles ahead. They ain't getting 4 goals in a game, bro. We already know this at this point. Foden, Saka. We're even saying that we're gonna take him in a starting 11 over Erling Haaland. So like Foden and Saka, they ain't gonna make any difference with us. Same thing with Salah. None of them. So shout out to all of them because they're quality players, but nah, we ain't gonna have that debate anyway. Cenac says if Noni had better decision making, his output would be crazy. Plus, I agree, Guni, we're playing Noni a lot to sell high this summer to make room for Kendry Pies and Willian. So you think we're giving him minutes to potentially sell high? I think Maresca just has a lot of faith in him as a player. Like whether he's delivering it on the pitch or not is subjective, but I think Maresca really rates his profile.
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword because what if Noni fixes his decision making and starts putting up that goals and assists? You're gonna tell someone that could potentially get you 20 plus goals and assists just bin off for someone who's never played in the league. Granted, he could be generational. That gives them a headache, does it not?
Yeah, exactly.
I think the briefing that we're gonna keep with Willian and Pies is bullshit. Personally, like there's no room. There literally isn't. Someone gotta go
unless Noni and Nkunku go, and I'm not trading Nkunku for Pies. I'm not gonna ask criminal. Because Pies does play better centrally, but it's too soon for that.
And one of them to Strasbourg or something.
But you could say the selfishness in Noni's game is because of the whispers of, "Oh, you could be leaving soon, so he must approve his worth more." But in this sense, it's actually kind of killing his stock a bit more.
Yeah. If he was supposed to get that decision making spot on, we're looking at another top player in the league.
But in terms of just to answer that super chat, I think Noni's playing. Maresca's playing Noni. I mean, a lot because of he has actually been known in terms of dealing with, in terms of the medical side of things and managing injuries. He did a very good job with Leicester last season. Don actually told me that. Big up Don. He was saying about how James Justin and Pereira had serious injuries and he was managing them well and like managing their minutes, and they actually done the whole season without injuries. They ain't even been getting injured since. So and look at the way he's been managing Lavia. He's not rushing him back. Reese James, he hasn't rushed him back. Neto, he hasn't rushed back. You could argue though Fofana's getting a lot of minutes though in the same breath. So I don't know if that is really what's happening. Then I don't mind that. I don't mind that. It's a long season. We got a lot of games. Like we're yet to see Reese James with this squad. That's another thing that if we get Reese James for this run, if he comes off the bench or against Liverpool, for example, then we get him against Newcastle. He's playing against United. He's playing against Arsenal. I'm happy with that. This is a completely different. Like we're looking at it from a different lens. You get it?
I'm sorry, that photo took me out, bro. What the?
Right, for those who don't know, Prime has had like a year-long Reece James agenda due to his injuries. So
Lewis, respect me. It's been longer than a year.
No way.
No, years. I said years.
Oh, years. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not an agenda. Lewis, it's not an agenda. Everything I've said has been right, though. Let's be fair. Everything I've said.
We know the saying, an agenda's an opinion a certain man don't agree with. So, to me, it's an agenda.
It's not an opinion if it's facts, and everything I've said has been right. So,
can you tell me your? I don't know this agenda or opinion. Can you tell me your overarching opinion?
I've been talking about Reese needing surgery since what year was the World Cup? The December World Cup?
22?
Yeah, 22.
Yeah, I've been saying since like October, November that year that he shouldn't go to the World Cup. He should get surgery and then take the rest of the season off. But then the guy tried to force himself to go to the World Cup. Didn't end up going, if I remember correctly. And then he got injured, I think, our second game back after the World Cup. Like, yeah, I've been like, because Reese is an amazing talent, but like the fact that he's not had a season fully fit in his professional career is crazy. Yeah. This guy's constantly getting injured, and if he doesn't fix up on his injuries, I'm afraid that he could end up being like
what if players, one of those what if players.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, this season I haven't been like worried or made any jokes about him, because the way Maresca's handled it with Reese, I think, has been spot on. There's been like he got that little like knock or something, I think, our second game week or whatever. And then Maresca hasn't really used them because we haven't really had a need for Reese. It's good for him to be wrapped up basically in cotton wool, and he can just get away and fully recover, and then he can come back later. I think that's fine. I think that's the way he should have been handled for years now. But because we've never had a backup, and this is something I've also been saying since Reese broke into the first team, we've never had a backup right back or a right wing back, so he can like take time and not have to rush back from injury. When at Wigan, when he went there on loan, he got injured a bit and he was rushed back from injury. Lampard's first full season, he started the season, I think, injured and was rushed back from injury. The second season, I remember, when we lost 3-1 at Arsenal, that game he played where he stunk, he was rushed back from injury. When Tuchel took over from Chelsea, or when Tuchel took over in January, he wasn't even fully fit. And the start of Tuchel's reign, Cho was playing wing back because Reese wasn't fully fit. When he won the Champions League 21-22, everyone's saying that we're in a title race. Reese snaps his leg, I think, in October, November, and then we fall off a cliff. Like,
Chilwell went down as well.
He's not had anyone to back him up until Gusto.
Tuchel's minutes with him was ridiculous at that time too.
The thing is,
now if it was no Reese, it was either Cho at wing back, or Pulisic at wing back, or Ziyech at wing back, or Aspie at wing back. Like, we had no one.
Even lost his cheek at wing back at one point.
Yeah, and then last season we had Malo Gusto. Chelsea fans weren't really complaining about Reese being out because we had
also Potter rushing him back twice.
Yeah, so like now, the way I'm looking at it, I'm cool with him being out for however long and actually taking time to chill and recover. I'm cool with it. If it means that we actually get to see the best of Reese in the future, that's fine, because as much as I make jokes about him or whatever, I know if we sell him to, say, Man City or Real Madrid, they will fix his injury issues and they'll get the best out of him, and that's not what I want. So
I think the problem with the Reese thing is that we keep dependent. Our season's always dependent on Reese's fitness, and I feel like it's become that is a mental illness if we keep respecting the same thing, doing the same things and expecting different results. With the fact that we've got Gusto makes things easier, but Gusto has gotten injured a couple times since he's been under us, and then we're stuck with this Disasi right back experiment or Gilchrist last season and shit like that.
That's also because we overused Gusto last year, and also Gusto's injuries last year, like, that's an anomaly. He's not an injury-prone player.
He got injured this season.
Pochettino's just a terrorist, so
that's disingenuous because he got injured this season and he was injured with Lyon in his last season as well for quite some time. He does get injured.
But he's not. Yes, but he's not an injury-prone player. Me saying that Pochettino injures players is not disingenuous.
I get what he's saying. He's saying there should be a balance.
A lot of training issues with Poch.
And you can't. He basically saying there should be a balance to this thing. You can't be using the same players in the league match for 90 minutes and then use them the same 90 minutes in a cup match. That's about to cause injury.
Exactly. But what Maresca's doing, the way he's managing people, and I think that's why Neto hasn't started much. That's also why Nkunku hasn't really started much in the league. They're managing minutes. I can't trust, like, from Maresca's point of view, it's really hard to trust and throw Nkunku in when the guy's not played a full. I don't think he's played 90 minutes in the league because
attacking depth, there's no need to.
Exactly. Neto, as good as Neto may be, and I think Neto should be starting over Madueke, but Neto also needs to build up that full match fitness to warrant starting. So and also we have a big squad. And also players like, we have such a big squad that, like, who comes in and plays, I'm not necessarily that worried. We have a big enough squad, and we have a good enough squad. We have proper quality depth. So I'm not worried about, if Reese doesn't play or Gusto doesn't play, because Fofana can play as that inverted right back. You can also, Disasi can play there, even though I probably wouldn't want him to play there. Caicedo can play as that inverted right back. We have enough options. We have enough options across the pitch. I'm fine.
I think, we see in terms of just, we're talking about this title push and all this. If we can't get, this is reliant on if James can play at least 15 league games straight.
What title push?
We've been debating like Chelsea's title contention.
I'm not doing this again, bro. I feel like I'm going in circles. I'm not doing this again.
No way.
Bro.
We're not in this. We're not in this title, bro. This is crazy. Only a month ago we had the championship manager. We're not in a title race.
Bro, I debunked it.
No, we're saying one game at a time anyway. Like, we're on agreement.
Trust me, man. I feel it in my loins.
I hope you're correct, man. If you're correct, I'll give you the flowers. I'll be like, you called this first before anybody else.
Actually,
no. I'm the type where I'll happily see it.
If anyone gets flowers, it's Don. Don called this in the terrace group chat back in before the season started that we're gonna go over the top.
Bro, I'm not even giving you flowers.
I don't believe it, bro.
I believe you. I believe you.
Going to win the title this season, he will give you politician.
Bro, I think it's way too early to say we're gonna. With how our defense looks, Sanchez is a bozo. There's no way we can go machine for machine. However, from Maresca's point of view, from Chelsea's point of view, with Rodri being out, if they truly believe they're good enough, then they should have the mentality of, let's keep going and see what happens. But from my point of view as a fan, I only believe it when I see it.
I think we need 15 straight games of Reese James being fit in the league for this to happen. Can we say that confidently though? We're getting at least 50, and I think that's not even that much. That's not even a tough ask for a footballer. But in this case, do you think we can get 15 games in the league?
Even if Reese is fit, we're not in the title race.
Of Reese,
it's not just about getting Reese James 15 games. You still have to get him up to speed. You still have to get him to a certain level before we can get a pull of performance from him.
No, but regardless,
that's what I'm saying. The Reese James that we know. I'm saying 15 games of Reese James.
Do you guys wait? So CB, you're saying Reese is the difference from us going for the title?
I think he's that type of player that if he's available, yes, he plays a big role in us. That he changes us in terms of him going forward and defensively. When he's available, we're not gonna take away who Reese James is.
No, I regardless of what Lewis says, I actually do love Reese, and I know what he's capable of. But I'm not gonna delude myself and say Reese being fit the whole season means we're going machine with City for a title race. I don't believe that. Sanchez is still not good enough. Sanchez is not a Premier League title worthy.
Arsenal went machine with City for a title with Ramsdale in goal.
Yes, but no one expected them to that season.
No one expected.
Yeah, even then, I didn't call them title contenders till January, February.
CB, that's the thing. Arsenal that season pulled off an anomaly. No one expected them to. They were top for 97% of the season, and they still didn't win the league. That was a fluke season from them.
No, the last 2 years, they've had Ramsdale in goal, and they've challenged for the title.
Yes, and what did they do after Ramsdale? After that fluke season, what did they do after Ramsdale? They got another one. Yes, because he wasn't good enough.
And that's fine, but we can do. I'm not saying we keep Sanchez for the long haul. I've been wanting him. I wanted a new goalkeeper from the summer. I wanted a new goalkeeper. I wanted a centre back. I wanted a DM, because another thing that no one takes into account, God forbid, touch wood right now, I do not want a Caicedo injury, a season like that can stop us from going for a title to finishing 8th in the league. So in terms of DM, we ain't got no sort of cover. I can't rely on Lavia.
We are Chelsea Football Club, okay?
Lavia's
we're not Arsenal, we're not City. I don't want us to challenge for a title because it's a fluke. I'm sorry. I'm not Arsenal. I don't want to do that.
No, you don't challenge on a fluke because you need the consistency for a good majority of the season for that.
When I mean
thing like the league title, there's no fake title winners.
No, when I mean fluke, I mean expectation. No one expected Arsenal to do what they did that season.
Yeah,
I don't want Chelsea to be built off. Oh, we just somehow found ourselves in. No, that's not Chelsea.
But I think you're looking at it the wrong way if we were to be in a title race, because it wouldn't be a fluke. And if we were, that would be something that we'd expect to build on so we could actually win it the season after. Like, when Arsenal got there to a point where people were calling them title contenders, it wasn't like, oh, they're a fluke now, that they lucked out to get second place. To be even first.
I remember that
season.
Consistency
for that.
I remember that season. Everyone kept expecting Arsenal to fall off.
And they didn't do it till April.
Yes, but it wasn't until it got to March when people accepted, okay, Arsenal can actually win this league, and then they fell off the following month. That's not Chelsea, man.
But by that point, it wasn't a fluke. At that point, it's like, no, you've shown enough consistency that we should now expect you to keep it going for another 10 or so.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do something that's not expected of you, is it not a bit of an anomaly?
No, but you know
if you don't continue it, and they did.
Yeah, if they did, they've done it 2 years,
and we'd expect to continue ourselves
with better. Yeah, but they did it with better players. So, like, challenging with Sanchez would be an anomaly for me.
But bro,
I mean, you say better players like Saka, Palmer, Jackson, Jesus, Martinelli, Sancho.
Do you know what?
Midfield, I genuinely take our midfield over theirs. Defense is the only thing they got outright over us.
But that's what I'm saying. You just saying that, yeah. A lot of what like boils my piss with this fan base is when it comes to combined 11s with Arsenal, you guys will say, oh, Caicedo's better than Rice, oh, Palmer's better than Saka, oh yeah, all of these Enzo's better than Odegaard, all of these men can fit in this team. I agree in terms of I would take Raya, I'll take Reese James at right back. If Reese James not available, I will take Timber. I will take both their centre backs. I'll take Kukurea. I like Caicedo over Rice. I'll take Odegaard in that midfield. I'll take Palmer, Jackson. Who's their left winger? Yeah, so the fact that
I want no one from Arsenal.
But you see the way we're all saying this. We're looking at their team on paper and we're all saying this. Then they've competed for the title 2 times, about to do it for a 3rd time. Why is it criminal for me to say we're doing a title push when all of you guys are in agreement that majority of our players get into their squad?
Because they built a squad earlier than
much better defense, much better at set pieces. That's my thing. To a point where it's cracked.
And their squad has been their squad has been constantly trying to win a title over a longer period of time. So they've built some form of chemistry and some form of intangibles that we just don't have.
But that first
I'm not saying we can't build it over the course of this season that could spontaneously explode into something, but that would be an anomaly. This is not what we're
first
expecting.
Season that they competed, no one expected them to do it. That was a new squad they had.
But that was an anomaly. That season was an anomaly.
How can it be an anomaly if they repeated it and about to compete?
But
understand what we're saying.
In isolation, it was because if any Arsenal fan that season going into it saying we're going to win the league or we're going to challenge for the league would have been laughed at, and rightfully so, because the season beforehand they were comfortably going to get top 4, and the last 5 games they just threw it away. So that team, looking at it in that time, that team did not have the mentality to go on for the title. Like, I'm looking at Chelsea. I like what Maresca is doing. I like what we're slowly building towards. But for me to say, based off 5 games, that we're gonna go for the title, I don't know. Nothing's shown me yet that we're capable of doing that. I still don't trust Sanchez. The center backs, like, I'm gonna let them breathe for a bit, but I don't trust the defense. Our midfield, like, our best defensive midfielder is Lavia, and he can't stay fit. And Caicedo and Enzo, let's see how well they can build up a partnership. Like, there's so many shaky things about our team that let's just wait. Let's not put title expectations on them when realistically we know they can't do it, at least not yet. Let's not do that. It's not fair. And I said that about Arsenal at that time as well. I was arguing with Arsenal fans in December saying, don't put this title expectation on yourselves, because if you guys fall off massively in the second half of the season, like, it's not fair.
Because you said you were going to go for a title.
No, not even the fans.
I don't even care about
but I don't care about the fans. You're setting up the players up for unnecessary abuse. It's not fair. we're saying go for a title, but yet there are Chelsea fans that don't rate Jackson. It's crazy. We're going for a title, but you don't rate Sanchez. It's crazy.
Bro,
let's wait.
I hear your conversation next year. Next year, after some chemistry has been built. Next year, after this manager has identified what he definitely needs to change from what he can work on. Next year. But this year, let this man get us to a top 4, accomplish what he needs to accomplish before we can put that. Because I don't think you understand the level of competing for a title versus building your team to compete for a title. That's 2 different levels.
Yes.
Trying to get to a standard and maintaining that standard to then push that standard higher is 2 different things, brother.
Thank you. And just because Arsenal jumped like a couple of steps and ended up as title challengers when the season beforehand they had missed out on top 4 doesn't mean Chelsea are going to do it. Like It's not. Arsenal jumped like 2-3 steps. They were supposed to go from top 4 to showing that they can comfortably be top 4 to then going as title champ. They missed like 2-3 steps.
But you guys
automatically mean Chelsea will.
You guys
don't have the same look.
You guys don't realize yet how quick the football landscape changes. Like, it's not the way you guys are making it seem like with these projects, like, oh, okay, because we missed top 4 before, we have to finish in the top 4. Then when we finish in the top 4, then we can try go for second.
I'm not
and if we
saying
don't get second, we go for a title.
But that's not what I'm not saying. We don't have the chemistry to jump from not compete. Perfect example. The season we finished 12th, and the season we won the league after 10th. And we won
I'm just saying we don't know either side.
How did that happen? Because the core team that we finished
was a title winning
squad, and we won the title.
We don't know either side. That's my thing. So I ain't trying to put none.
That's why that season when Conte won the league. Yes, credit to Conte, but I'm not going to look at it as him doing a masterclass. He had a title winning squad. He should have won that league.
And that squad had chemistry together. This squad doesn't have that level of chemistry yet. And that's where this season
this squad hasn't shown that it can get 15, 20 clean sheets in the league. Jackson, I rate Jackson, and I think he will prove it by the end of the season. However, he hasn't shown me he can hit 20 goals in the league. This squad hasn't shown me that they can go far in major competitions as of yet, consistently. Yeah. They haven't shown me that they can, they haven't shown things yet. And this season, I think they will prove it. I think by the end of the season, we will end it as looking as like title challengers for the following season. But like, let's wait. Let's not throw out big statements. And yeah, Lewis is right. We don't know either side, but let's not throw around big statements when we don't know. We haven't seen anything yet. Because after the international break, if we lose 2-0 to Liverpool, does that mean that we're all of a sudden we're shit again? No. Let's not be polarizing on either side.
Yeah. Let's give Mariska some leeway to mess up. I hate saying it like that, but let's give him some leeway to mess up and correct his mistakes. Next season, we can be more harsh on his results. But this is his first season and a quote-unquote championship manager.
I get you. You guys are, because we've got a new manager, you guys are acting like this is a completely brand new team. The core team, they're in their second season. A lot of, even outside of
with a new system, with new players around them, with a new manager, with a new way of playing. Come on, bro.
No, if it was the same way, managing in the Prem too.
These man as a core have played together for 2 years. Outside of the core, Enzo's been here for, it's about to be 3 years now. Modric and them man have been here for 3 years. Fofana's been here for 3 years. Like there is enough of this. Why can't there be chemistry? This is what I don't get in terms of.
Bro, I really don't think you understand that level of chemistry.
CB, I've got a question, bro. What did you think when the season ended last year? What did you think of our squad? And particularly the core group of players that you just mentioned. What do you think of that? Think of them at the end of last season?
I didn't think they were good enough, if I'm being honest. I didn't.
And when we appointed Maresca, what did you think of him?
I thought that was a very big gamble. I wasn't sure he would be good enough to do the job.
So why do you think a group of players that only a few months ago weren't good enough and a manager who only a month or two ago wasn't good enough can now go for a title? Why do you think that?
Because I believe in the mentality of these players. In terms of mentality, I'm saying these lot have chips on their shoulders. In terms of from just the club in general, from the ownership to the sporting directors, to the manager to an extent, and the
But
players.
this is the same
Majority
ownership
of
that
these
you were
lot-
criticizing not too
That's
long
what I'm
ago.
saying. But they have chips on
Here's
their
where I show you
shoulders. This is
the
the make
flaw.
or break season for them. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Let me show you the big flaw in your logic, right? Did Pep Guardiola win the league the first season he came in?
No.
What does that mean, though?
No, I'm gonna walk you through it. Majority
Go
of that City team have been playing together before. Talking to your Yaya Torres, your David Silvas, and a couple of people, right? Cool. Did Jurgen Klopp win the league the first season he came in? No. Majority of that squad was good. The only reason why Conte did it was because he had a title-winning squad. And Conte is still an outlier because there's no one to do that in the Premier League. Since
Do you know how many managers have won the Prem in their first season? Only 3.
exactly.
2 of those are Chelsea. 3 of those are Chelsea, by the way.
Yes. Jose with a team that was built by Ranieri.
Jose,
had. Ancelotti had a team that was built by Jose Spine, and then Conte won the league.
That wasn't really Jose.
Wait, didn't Wenger win it in his first season with Arsenal? Am I bugging?
No, Wenger didn't. He's a bum. Anyway, and Conte won the league with a team that was built by Jose Spine. So ultimately, like what we're saying, he's going to win the league with Poch's Spine. No, let's not be crazy, man. Come on.
I just thought this is the flaws in you lot's argument.
Second, yeah.
Everyone in this panel, I'm not sure about Javon, but Lewis, Prime, you guys are saying majority of the players in our team get into Arsenal's team.
I've not said any of that. Do you want to know my command 11 with Arsenal?
Go on.
So what? With everyone fit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Everyone fit. 4-2-3-1. Ray and goal. Reese at right back. I'm taking Saliba and Gabriel. Correa left back. People are going to laugh at this. Declan Rice with Enzo. Palmer 10. Saka on the right. Sancho left. Jackson up top.
You wouldn't put Caicedo in that combined 11?
That surprised me.
That
surprised me.
No. Declan Rice has shown a lot more for a longer period of time. Declan Rice is a seasoned Premier League player. Been doing this for years.
Why did Enzo get in there?
Yeah, I would drop Enzo and put Caicedo. I'm not gonna
lie.
Like
I would have heard that.
That would be a solid. That would be a solid.
Either one. It doesn't matter between those two.
Okay. But all in all, there's more Chelsea players than Arsenal players in that team, which is my point.
No, Raya, Gabriel, Saliba, Declan Rice, Saka.
That's it. So you would have
5.
That's 5. That's 5 Arsenal, 6 Chelsea.
And also, if you're talking about managers, they have like a proven, like a manager that's been, even though it's like they're both very.
Maresca's got more league titles than him in the country, by the way.
Yes, but even though they're, CB, only like a couple of weeks or a month ago, you were on stream talking about Maresca not being good enough and how he almost bottled the league with Leicester, but now you think he can win the league. That's not fair.
It's not fair. I've seen
I'm mad, man.
Situations are different.
Bro, no, you haven't, bro. What have you seen? What have you seen, bro? I remember I was watching you on stream. You're with, I think, Don. Maybe it was on Never a Foul, and you were talking about how he almost bottled the league with Leicester. So why can he now come to Chelsea and win the league?
Well, not Leicester.
But we also don't have injury-prone players, bro. People are gassed by a lot of our players, but let's just be real. Lavia can't stay fit for love or money.
You didn't put Lavia in that combined 11 anyway.
No, but he's in our team. He's in our team. He's in our team, and also, like. Bro, I don't think we're in this title race. I'll be so real. We're not.
But you can't say there's 6 Chelsea players that get into Arsenal's team. You expect Arsenal to compete for the title, but we can't.
Because I just explained it. I just explained it. Arsenal are further along than we are. Yes, it's fine to have better players in different positions, but it's not okay to have a new manager who's just developing and getting his philosophy across to this team, to then ask him, hey, brand new, you only got 2 months, go win the title. That's impossible.
Exactly. And also with Arsenal, right? They may have some players that some of us don't rate. Like, for example, Lewis, don't get triggered, Havertz. But for Arsenal, it's working. Their system's been working. It's been proven for 2-3 years now. We don't have proof as of yet that our system, like, it's going to take us for a title this season. We haven't. The only big game we've played is Man City, and we lost 2-0. And Chelsea fans were crying, saying Maresca should get sacked. So why now should we go for a title?
And then people were crying for Maresca to get sacked in preseason to now go and find that. Bro, calm down, bro. If we finish comfortably top 4 next season, I hear it. I'm right there with you on the delusional train, but not this season.
Not even that. Listen, if we get to January, if we get to January and we're still in this title race, I'll have this conversation.
Yo, we're right now.
Bro, it's 6 games.
We're averaging most goals per. Obviously, we're averaging more goals per match. We're 5th on shots on target. Expected goals, we're 4th. Big chances created, we're 4th. Like, in terms of the league right now, like, we have all the underlying factors. For me, you said, what have I seen? I've seen, in terms of underneath just Liverpool and Spurs in terms of goals conceded per match, in terms of conceded. Why, if all the underlying factors are showing me a team that can win the league, and then you guys are saying we have players that can get into a team that are competing for the league, why is that not enough for me to say, okay, why can't we go?
Well, the players I've mentioned.
You're just saying time. All you're saying is time.
Yeah, because you need time to, and also the players that we mentioned. Reese James hasn't played a minute this season, so he can't be included in this combined 11. So if we're looking at what they have, then it's Timber that gets in. As much as I love Gusto, it's probably Timber that gets in that right back. So Arsenal have more players. So now what?
You're not the best start to the season.
Yeah,
what we saying?
Listen.
So the only thing you guys are arguing is time. Yeah, you're saying it's a timing thing. So and then you're also saying that we ain't seen enough. So if I say
not yet.
So if this run of these 5 league games that we got, that's tough. Yeah, we get a point we get a point away at Liverpool. We beat Newcastle. We beat United. We get a point against fucking Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough of a sample size to say we can win the league?
So
at that point, it's like 10 games or 11, 12 games in.
At that point, it's a sample size to have a conversation of where we could possibly finish, because you're considering the fact that we've gone toe to toe with 2 people that should be competing for the league, and we've beaten who we're supposed to. That's essentially what you just said to me.
Yeah.
It's a different conversation if we beat Liverpool outright, if we beat United outright, or we beat Arsenal outright, and we still beat who we're supposed to beat. Then that's a different conversation.
Don, before the season started, sorry to interrupt you. Where did you have Chelsea in the table?
I actually said, I even wrote it down. Let me get my tweet. I said, these are my expectations. This was when the day Maresca got hired, by the way. So I don't want none of this. Cool. Let me just get my tweet up. I'm gonna send it to Lewis so you can even put it on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do.
Hold on.
And someone said, it's only 6. What if our next 6 games? What if we lose 4 out of the 6? Are we then in a relegation battle?
No, I wouldn't.
I don't think we'll be saying that.
But you get the point.
I don't think we'll get any lower than that.
No, but you get the point though, Lewis. 6 games cannot put you in a title race, just like 6 games cannot put you in a relegation battle. That doesn't make sense.
This was the day Maresca was hired. I said my expectations for the manager: title race until December, top 4 minimum, Conference League and a domestic cup.
Oh, so until December.
We're currently in October.
Oh, so you're saying for now we should be in a title race, but that could change.
No, but this if we're still there there in December and we keep going January, February, it's subject to change. I will live with at the very least, we need to be there till December. At the very least.
Oh, well, we should be there
for
until
now.
December.
We should be thinking of ourselves as in the title race.
But
I think we can keep going until the end. I think we can go. We can keep going to the end. Personally,
Bro,
as of right now,
I
you
can live
view
with
it as
December.
What's the difference? What good question? Why difference? What's the difference? What's the difference?
What in terms of December and now?
Yes, I need to go piss.
You said title race until this December. What is the difference?
That we can hang.
What? But
if we can't
that doesn't
keep
prove we can hang.
If we can't keep going, now because you guys need to realize, this isn't the team that Maresca inherited. We had the best form in the second best form in the league. We have only in 2024 lost in the league to Man City and Arsenal.
I know. Yeah,
so
I know that.
This is the thing. So then now we've improved on the players, we've improved on the manager. Why can't we go for the title now? We already had title form in 2024.
Wait, hold on.
Prior
You've
to
improved on the manager. When Maresca got sacked, did you? Or when,
I'm quoting you guys. I'm quoting you guys.
You're quoting me. Don't quote me because I've never said.
Improving the manager is the common consensus of the fan base.
I ain't wrong.
Wait, hold on. So you're going off. So you're going off other people's opinions.
No, I think Maresca's. No. I think Maresca has been an improvement.
Bro, you still haven't answered the question, you know. What's the difference? I'm done with the bullshit fluffing around the corner. Answer the question. What's the difference? Are title race until December? Or what's the difference between title race until December and title race outright? What's the difference? Because nothing changes.
Personally, it's the very least for me that we was there. For Christmas,
fuckery.
The standard.
Fuckery. No, fuckery. Absolute fuckery.
No, you know what? I hear it.
It's the standard. You know the ones Christmas. You know, no. This is not. Let's not pretend. You expect your team to be there for Christmas on the table, and then whatever happens afterwards in the season. That's how it's always been.
No, I hear it. CB, what are your thoughts on Sarri? What are your thoughts on Sarri?
What do you mean? Just like as a manager?
At Chelsea. Like at Chelsea. What did you want him at Chelsea? Did you like him? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't want him. I didn't want him to leave.
Oh, you actually rated Sarri. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not like I always back my manager. One thing about me, I'm gonna back the gaffer all the time.
Let me say
this.
I understand backing him. I understand backing him.
Let me say this real quick.
Okay.
You cannot inject that statement title race until December because logically it makes no sense. If you're going to be locked in and say play one game at a time,
but this is
do one game at a time.
But Javon, what I was saying about this here, because I was streaming when I tweeted this, but I was saying in that stream that we need to, like, this is subject to change. We could be in December at the title race where we're still in December and the conversations change because everyone said to me
be subject to change.
But no, when I say subject to change, I mean the expectation. Obviously, top 4 minimum. We're expecting top 4 minimum. But you guys all said to me in the stream, talk to us in December when we're still here, and then we can talk about title push. That's what I'm saying. Why can't we hold on to December and try to go for the title?
You know what?
The other way around. Top 4. Minimum until December, but if expectations exceed, if performances exceed expectation, then that's subject to change. You cannot tell a new manager that has a whole bunch of new players for him. Yo, title race until December. That makes no fucking sense. It's
hold on.
4,
I get what he's saying. I get what he means.
It should be top 4, and then let's say you're challenged for top 4, but then at the end of December you see your 3 points off the title.
But
then
this is
I get what CB means. I get what CB means. Okay, so you're saying title race until so
essentially I want us to.
You know what? Okay, hold on. You know what Sarri did? Up until like I think November, December, right? Would you agree up until that point?
He started the season well.
But do you agree up until I think we got battered by Bournemouth and City in a week? Up until that point, you were in a title race. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Tuchel, that 21-22 season, up until Reese and Chilwell got injured and Lukaku did his injury stuff. Up until that point. Yeah, but up until that point though, we were in a title race.
Yes.
Okay. But once the season ends, no one's gonna praise you for being in a title race come December. That's something we laugh at Arsenal for doing under Wenger.
But we also laughed at Arsenal for going into the season saying we want top 4, but everyone here is crying for top 4. So
no, but you want something to build on.
But it's based on that because we finished outside top 4 for the last 2 seasons. We have to get.
We look Arsenal for always celebrating 4th.
Yes,
but
as soon as we get 4th, we want a title.
If you guys finish 4th now, if we finish 4th now, I'm not gonna be like, oh yes, we got top 4. A lot of you guys would be.
I'll be like, cool, we're where we should. I'll be like, we're where we should have been last season. Now we can get back on track and go get the title.
This is where you get things wrong. I don't celebrate top 4 because as for Chelsea, I expect a bare minimum for us to finish top 4 and get to a cup final.
Celebrate some trophies,
which is what Poch should have done last season.
I've got 2 trophies minimum also there.
But
and for us,
CB,
that's what we'll celebrate. Celebrate trophies.
At the end of the day, the cold hard facts are we haven't been a top 4 team in the past 2 years. So you cannot judge the fans for wanting to get back to a certain level. Judge them when that's all they celebrate. Once we get back to a top 4 level, once we get back there, the next step immediately, which is the season after, is to push for a title. So
I just don't understand how
top 4.
I just don't understand how you can criticize. You criticize our transfer recruitment. You criticize the players. You criticize the manager. You criticize the owners. But a month into the season, 5 games in, you now hold on. A month into the season, 5 games, you now think, or 6 games, whatever it is, you now think we can go for a title. I don't think to me that doesn't make sense. This tweet saying being in the title race, quote unquote, up until December. Yes, fair enough. I think Chelsea will be, but that's not a title race.
No, but hear me out.
It's not a title race.
No, but hear me out, because I don't think you guys are understanding. The reason I have put be in the title race until December, I was going through these expectations on playback with my chat. I put the title race until December because I was saying I want to be in the title race. I want to go for the title. I am Chelsea. Every time we start a league campaign, clean slate, I want the title. Everyone said, let's be there until December, but we can hold on. We want top 4 at the bare minimum, but talk to us in December. Even you guys today. I'm talking about title race.
Changes after December if that's the
case. In December,
then.
We're going for the league. If we're in the title race in December, I want the league.
That's my issue with the quote. Why put until December then?
Because in December we can talk again about these expectations. We will revisit them.
Bad man. Understand. Let me rephrase it. Let me explain it differently. My consensus is right. It makes no sense you put until December when your caveat is in December we're pushing even further for the title. That makes no sense. Just say go for the title off the jump, and then we move, or we aim to be in the conversation for top 4, and then we push for the title after the fact. Don't say title race until December, because then you set the expectation for anyone just reading that comment, not understanding what you're trying to say is, oh, after top 4 we fall off, or after December. I'm sorry, it is what it is.
Because people
don't look put at until December. If that's the case.
I don't.
Because Don,
Prime, you said something that I want to just clear up, because it's defamation. I have not slandered the manager one time this season. The only thing I've said about the manager,
I didn't say this season.
Right, let me go.
That was the second half against Crystal Palace. I have not slandered none of the players. In terms of the player performances, I think Noni should have been better. Even Enzo, I've kept my mouth shut a large part of this season. I've not said nothing really about Enzo that much. I've only said that we've won without Enzo. I've said we won without Enzo against Bournemouth. But I haven't said nothing about the players. I haven't said nothing about the manager. This season, going into the season, I've given everyone a clean slate because at the end of the day, it's the badge. And the badge is going to carry us through, and it's doing that. Until I've seen something that's going to make me criticize people, then that's the case. The fact we're 6 games in comparison to last season, and we don't really have any criticisms, it shows sign of improvement. Why can't we just keep going? The fact that you guys want to police my standards. My standards will never change. Like, I'm trying to make Chelsea great again, and that means we have to go and expect the title when it's time to talk. When we talk about our expectations, if we don't get the title, we'll live with top 4. But I want the title, and that's not changing.
Yeah, bro.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, bro. I'll be so real. You're talking about defamation of character. I didn't say that you slandered the manager or the players. You didn't listen to what I said.
You did. You said you slandered the owner, the
No, I
manager.
didn't. I didn't. No, you didn't listen to what I said. I didn't say you did that this season either. What I said was because you didn't want Maresca, and you were talking about how. Because remember, I asked you what you thought of the players last season or at the end of last season, and you were talking about how they weren't good enough. So for the players not being good enough, and the manager that you didn't want or rate because he's a championship manager. Remember, you almost bought the league with Leicester, is what you said before on stream, and you're very critical of the ownership and the way they run things. So now all of a sudden, to go for a title race 5-6 games into a season, to me that doesn't logically make sense. There's got to be some contradictory somewhere.
Okay, so like, for me, I already put my hand. First thing I said on the stream, I said, you know what? In hindsight, you guys were right. We should have got rid of Poch. I said that. That was the first thing I said when we came on the stream today, because I was on the stance that these players ain't good enough. The manager is being let down by the players. You guys were saying the manager's holding back the players. I've now forfeited that claim and said, you know what? Fair enough. The manager actually was holding back the players. This new manager is propelling them to new heights. So now, with that being said, I don't understand why I don't feel like these guys could win the title, because this manager is impressed me because you need to realize we were still a top 4 team under Pochettino. We literally missed top 4 by 5 points. You could argue Sheffield and Burnley or Aston Villa draws or whatever stuff. At the end of the day, we was floating in that top 4 region with this bum coach, quoting you guys. Mm-hmm. We have now got a better manager. I'm saying for us, he's a better manager. Not in terms of his honours and what he's done in the game. His football stories just began. But for us, he's a better manager. He's an improvement. We've improved on the squad. We've got better attacking depth. We've got new centre backs. We've got our injured players back. Why can't we go for the title? There's clear improvement in terms of personnel and management. That's what it is.
Because we still have clear deficiencies that have yet to be improved on. Are you telling me that you trust our defense? You trust Sanchez to go for a title?
I think Fofana is gonna improve as the games go on. He's missed a year of football, so we're gonna see him at a high level. I think he actually played a good game against Brighton, but without the clean sheet, you can't really argue that. Reese James, I expect him to be back. Like I said, if we have Reese James available for 15 straight league games, I think that's enough for us to propel us to those heights.
What if we don't?
What if we don't get Reese James for 15 games? Then we get a right back in January.
No, but you're going for a title is predicated on Reese James.
No, it's not on just Reese James. No, it's not on just Reese James, but he will help us. Of course, it will be massive help. But it's not on Reese James. No.
Listen. I do hope you and Don are right. I hope that we can make the massive jump and be title challengers this season. I really do hope so. But I don't think that we are. And someone in the chat asked, instead of me asking CP, what are my predictions of Chelsea? My prediction was that we would be in this top 4 race. And I believe our forwards can score enough goals to get us there. But I don't trust our defense. And I think ultimately we'll finish 5th, a point or so away from 4th. And that we will win Conference League. And then we'll win one of the domestics. So FA Cup or Carabao. We have this Wembley curse, quote unquote, we apparently have, that needs to be gone this season. We have to win one of them. And that's my expectations from Maresca.
No, but you see, Prime, you're kind of confusing to me because you've said that we've addressed all of our problems. In the summer, when it was you literally, there was no all the problems. The only problem that you felt like we needed to address that didn't get addressed was striker. But when did I say
we addressed all of our problems?
We're going into the season, you was gassing up this defense. Going into the season.
No, wait, hold on. Me. I was gassing Lewis.
Not gassing up, but you said that.
Me? I was gassing. I've never. Lewis, you streaming me all the time. When have I ever gassed up this defense? Let's not do this.
I don't recall it.
Okay, then
yeah,
I'll leave the defense argument alone. You argue the manager.
I don't rate these centre backs. I've said this numerous times. Bro, you've never seen me before. You don't know my...
Oh, no, it's because the chat was saying it. That's why.
No, I didn't even... Wait.
I didn't know. I didn't. Because I don't rate our defense.
See,
I don't rate our defense. I never said that because I don't rate our defense, though. So I've not said that.
I don't remember. So,
bro,
I had a conversation with Marshall on casually. Like we had these conversations about our defense.
I said he's got timestamps, bro. Fucking hell.
Yeah, timestamps is crazy.
Okay, that's fine.
That's bad.
But literally, what I'm saying is, though, you guys are basically arguing that with a new manager and the new personnel that we've hired, an improvement on the manager and improved personnel, that we've only improved by 5 points because we missed top 4 by 5 points. Essentially, we've really improved by 5 points. I think that's not the case. I think we probably improved by, I would say, maybe 18 points, if I'm being honest.
But I just have like, obviously City, Arsenal are better than us. I think Liverpool are, just in terms of, even though they also have a new manager, he's a lot more proven, and they also have like 4 world-class players that can bail them out if they are ever in trouble. Salah, Van Dijk, Trent, and Alisson. And with Villa, they have Emery, and I believe Villa, I said this before the season started, they will either not make it out of their Champions League group, or they will get knocked out in the round of 16. I don't believe Villa, this hype of Villa going far in Europe, they're not going to go far in this Champions League. They're not going to. So they'll face the big side and get bopped off.
I ain't worried about Villa. We're clear of Villa.
In terms of personnel, or in terms of like consistency and actually
we
showing
are a better team than them. I even think last season going toe-to-toe against them, like they weren't better than us. But we got the Gusto was the better team the first time we played them. Gusto got sent off. The game went to shit. The second time we should have won the game. The VAR stuff, whatever.
Sterling 2v1 again.
Yeah, Sterling let us down once again. But I think we were better than them. Like both times we played them, I think we were better than Villa. I think we're better. The only teams that it starts getting dicey. It's Liverpool, City, and I think we can go toe-to-toe with Arsenal. But for us to say we can go toe-to-toe with Arsenal, we have to. You can't say a team that's going for the title, we can go toe-to-toe with them, or we got players better than them, and then we're not putting ourselves in that position.
I didn't say we can go toe-to-toe with them. I didn't say
we could go toe-to-toe with City. They didn't really account for much.
Yeah, going off in one game doesn't show consistency over the course of the season. Like I want to, regardless of what you're saying, I personally am someone who needs a bit of evidence first. I don't just believe things just off word of mouth. I need some evidence first to see. Yeah,
I just get CB's level of expectation. I get what he's trying to say with that. It's like we're Chelsea, we should be aiming for that first off.
But that's fine. But we're not going to Chelsea our way to a title. So who cares?
we've Chelsea our way to Champions League, though. We
didn't Chelsea our way to a Champions League. We didn't Chelsea our way to a Champions League.
Bro.
Not possible.
Javon, no, it's been real, bro. Bless up, man.
Javon,
great to have you on again.
Talking to you, man. I can't lie,
Big up Javon, bro.
Everyone subs the Final Whistle pod. Links in the description.
I'm on the road to 1K. I think I'm at 830 right now. Let me get to 1K.
170 of you lot can sub. I'm sure there's 170 you lot in here that could go sub right now. Links in the description below. You man, do your thing.
Bless people. Yo, big up again, bro. Lewis. Remember, we're gonna do part 2. So, peace.
Come on, man. Shout me. I'll put the link in the chat.
We didn't Chelsea our way to win our
going
Champions.
Into that season, we was one of the best teams in Europe. Going into that season, you thought we was one of the best teams in Europe.
Which season?
That season we won the Champions League.
Which we won it twice. Which seasons?
2021. Both years really, but I'll do 2021 because that was the most recent run. Did you think it was the best team in Europe?
No.
Well, how did we win?
Not at all.
How did we win? We won.
Lampard got battered.
We wasn't in Champions League semi-final the year before.
Lampard. Well, you're missing out so much context. Lampard got battered 3-1 by Arsenal, and then like a week or two later, we lost to Leicester, and that's when he initially got sacked. We brought in Tuchel. We switched to a back 5, and then we started slowly building up momentum. And after we beat, at least for me, my big point of believing that we could actually win the Champions League was when we beat Atletico Madrid 1-0. And the way we performed, I said it on the terrace on my match reaction that I believe that we can go and beat anyone in Europe. But I needed evidence.
What was that based off though? The momentum.
It was based off of me. It was based off of showing me evidence. I needed to see it.
Okay, but let's just because initially why everyone's combating me in terms of the title push is because you guys are saying, oh, there's not enough chemistry. This is what Javon was saying. There wasn't much chemistry amongst the players. They need to get familiar with playing in this new system with a new manager.
That's not what I said.
But, okay, you're saying you want to see more. So now, okay, if I come to you after this run of games, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, and we beat them, or we win 2 out of 3 of those games, is that enough for you to say we're going to win the title or go and be in the title race?
No, not necessarily, no.
Why not? If a 1-0 win against Atletico sufficed.
Because the way we were attacked, because at that point, Atletico were like one of the best teams in the world, like how they had been performing that season. And then the way we performed in that game, and also leading up to that game, I believe that in a one-off game that we could beat anyone. I said after the draw, or before the draw, or the quarterfinals, I wanted Bayern Munich because I believe that we could actually beat them. And we ended up playing Real in the semis. But like going off one-off games is different from being consistent over a 38-game season. I just don't, at least not. And again, maybe my opinion will be different by the time we get through that that 5-game difficult run. But as of right now, I don't see it yet. I need to see something to believe it. I need to see some sort of evidence. And as of right now, I don't trust like this defense. However, me saying that, back in 2020, and maybe Lewis remembers, I didn't trust our centre backs that time either.
That's what
I didn't trust Mendy.
I didn't trust even trusting individuals. The consistency thing. Can we have the consistency to be in the title race? I don't know.
Having consistency is on our is on not just the structure as a team, but also the individuals performing. Because before Nkunku came in, we were making a lot. As much as the structure was also bad, the individuals within it were making a lot of mistakes defensively. But once Nkunku came in and the structure improved massively, yes, certain players would make mistakes, but other people would recover and bail them out. The first goal we conceded against Brighton that we just played, right? If that's, say, Thiago Silva, say fine, Sanchez makes that mistake, but he clears the ball off the line. My problem is not just the bozo mistake Sanchez made, but because Cole also didn't bail him out. As a team, you need to bail out your teammates sometimes. And we don't do that as a team collectively. Someone will make a mistake, and then in the same move, the next guy will make a mistake behind it. The second goal we conceded against Man City, where Kovacic was able to like spin through Enzo and Caicedo, and no one brought him down. That's stupidness. The goal we conceded against Crystal Palace, Eze's curler, I think that's easily defendable. That's easily to defend against. Don't let Eze get a chance to take the shot off. Like, clear the ball before it gets to that. The second goal against Brighton, stupidly playing the ball out of the back. The first goal we conceded against Man City, that's also easily defendable. We make too many bozo mistakes. It's not the team structure. I don't think there's anything wrong with our. Hold on. I don't think there's anything wrong with our, which is weird because in preseason we were making a lot of like system and structural mistakes, which is why we were conceding a lot. But now, since the season has started, the goals we've conceded has not been Maresca's fault. It's not a system thing. It's individuals making boneheaded mistakes. And no, I don't think they're going to cancel that out. At least not yet.
I'll say, barring the Kovacic goal, I'm trying to think. I don't really remember that much of Wolves' goals, but just going off the Crystal Palace game, City game, Brighton game, I don't really remember Wolves' goals that much. So
yeah,
the first one was transitional. Gusto and Caicedo fucked up. The second one was off a free kick.
Yeah. Comment.
Yeah. Set piece, yeah.
You guys remember that clearance from Thiago Silva against Juve? How many times did Silva do that for us? Like, over the 4 years it was with us.
But top teams shouldn't be doing goal line clearances, though. Anyway,
I know.
The way we're conceding goals, is systematic errors, and it's gonna.
I don't think it is. It's not.
Even Maresca himself is saying the way. For example, Sanchez's goal against Brighton, the mistake that Sanchez made against Brighton is us playing at the back. The first one is us playing at the back. We got punished for it. We tried to clear it. It was a rash clearance, and then Sanchez he overcommitted. But essentially, that happens through playing at the back. Even Maresca today said Gusto was at fault because he was supposed to play the ball. He didn't do it in the right place. In terms of The Brighton's the second goal, same again. We played at the back. The keeper played the wrong pass. Within our system, the keeper's gonna have the ball on his feet a lot. These type of errors will come, and then obviously over time you learn from your mistakes. But the goals we're conceding and the chances we're conceding is not clear-cut one-on-ones like last season when they're through on goal and they're just pummeling us. It's us making our own errors due to the system, and we're improving on. If we actually look at the way we've been defending this season when teams are actually doing their own moves against us, I think we've improved defensively. It's our own errors that are gonna come with time playing in this system. And the fact that we're papering over these errors by scoring goals and winning games, I don't mind that. But if you look at us defensively in isolation, teams are not actually scoring against us off of their own moves. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I know. Teams are not scoring. Like, I agree. Teams are not putting us through. That's because the system, the structure has improved. The goals we are conceding is individual errors, is what I've been saying.
But through playing in the system, though, that's what I'm saying. And
Through
the
individuals making mistakes. And by the way, I'm not saying per se making a mistake is a problem, but if you make a mistake, you have to then fix it, or someone else has to fix it. Like this comment the other comment about the Silva clearance against Juve. Fine, I agree. Goal line clearances shouldn't be the norm. I agree, but it makes it helps defend my point of if someone in the defense, if someone's making a mistake, someone has to cover for it, or you have to cover and make up for your mistake. And none of our center backs are really doing that. Cole, Fofana, and Sanchez, they're not really doing that as of right now. And also, what would probably help them, by the way, is having a stable midfield. We haven't had a consistent starting stable midfield because Lavia can't stay fit. Lavia's the DM these guys actually need in front of them, but Lavia just can't stay fit.
Ultimately, it's just too early to call it.
Yeah,
So
that's just it. We could go around in circles about it, but ultimately it's too early to call anything right now.
Do you guys remember the famous Fergie quote? Don't look at the table until you're 10 games in.
You never heard that one, I'll be real.
Yeah, I've heard that. But for me, you don't look at the table. It's Christmas. Christmas is where you see where you are. That's why I said title race until December. Because when it's Christmas, you look at things and you say, okay, what do we need improving on? We can address it maybe in January.
We should never.
For me, I'm just going to look at it after we go through the tough run of games. Because by then, if we've done well, we've taken points off the title contenders.
But we should never look at the table. But okay, you said never look at the table until Christmas. But if we shouldn't look at the table until Christmas, then why should we be in a title race until December? By then, but by that point, though, who cares what happened? Because we shouldn't look at the table until Christmas. So who cares?
But you're not understanding me. When I say title race until December, it means if we are in the title race in December, we are going for the title. The minimum expectation is top 4. Title race until December. I'm saying if we're within the top 4, we're 4th. Let's say because you guys don't like the idea of us being top. You don't see it possible. Let's say we're 4th and we're 4 points.
I don't like the idea. I just don't think. Okay, never mind. Sorry,
yeah, you said you don't think it's possible.
My bad. I'm interrupting you. Continue.
But let's say we're 4th and we're 5 or 3 points off top of the table. Yeah. I want the title. I'll be honest. I want from that point onwards. I'm trying to win the title. Every game, every point we drop, I'm looking at the title, saying, "Fuck, this is for our title push." So that's why I say until December. We need to be there until December so we can go for the title race.
Say we are top. Say we are second, and we're only off top on goal difference, like 3 goal difference or whatever, and we don't win the league. We finish 3rd. We are 5 points off City, who are top. What happens then? What are your thoughts?
I can live with that. Then we just got to improve for going into next year. Then that will just give me more of a basis for us to definitely try and push for the title in the next year. But I don't believe in wasting seasons. Like, we're not gonna go to a season and say, okay, it's top 4. Let's not consider the title whatsoever. We can look at it next year. No, time don't wait for no one. I look at every season as my last. We're going.
Now, what if we in December, same sort of scenario? We are we're second, like goal difference away from City, who are top, and then We end up finishing 4th, but we are 15, 20 points away.
That's criminal. I won't be happy. Yeah, of course, we're in the top 4. That's the minimum expectation. But the only thing that would make me happy with that is if we finesse the treble, because this is another
domestic,
thing.
Yeah, okay.
If we get both domestic cups and that Conference League, we've got a treble. I don't care how shamelessly prop that as well.
And that's kind of why, like, for me, like, I don't necessarily trust the defense. That's why I don't, as much as I believe we can get top 4, I don't trust the defense enough to really, like, back it fully. But I want us to win at least 2 trophies. Conference League is a given. So then go win one of the domestics with it. For me, I will if we finish 5th, I will accept it if we have Conference League and a domestic trophy. That's what I want, and I think we're capable of doing that more than we're capable.
Wait, you said you'd be happy with what, 5th or 4th? Sorry,
I want us to finish top 4, but I don't trust our defense to keep enough goals out to finish top 4. So my thing is, if we finish 5th, then go win the Conference League and a domestic with it. Go win the Carabao Cup with it or the FA Cup with it. And then I'll be like, cool, then we build next season. Next season, then you push to, depending on signings and depending on how players have improved, you push to potentially be in that title race. That's my thing. But this season,
I'm looking at it is just from our rivals. Yeah, I'm like our rivals for me, in terms of just the top end of the league, will always be City, Liverpool, Arsenal, United. Well, United they ain't been that for years. But those 3 teams, if they finish 4th, do you think they would be happy?
Who, United?
City, Liverpool, Arsenal. If they were to finish 4th in the league, would they be happy?
None of them.
If Liverpool finished,
that tells you everything you need to know.
But that's because they've been in title races last season.
We're not as good. We're
getting ourselves back to that level where we can have that expectation.
We're playing a new system.
We're not as
I know, and even they're not expecting to drop off. They're expecting at the least to maintain 3rd.
We're not.
So that would involve title contention.
As Arsenal and City, and with Liverpool, they were in the title race last season up until, was it March when they fell away? February when they fell away? For 1.
March, April.
And 2,
March, April.
Yeah, and 2, they've got 4 world-class players in their team that can bail them out consistently. They've got a world-class centre-back. They've got a world-class goalkeeper. They've got a world-class goal scorer in Salah. They've got a world-class creator in Trent. We don't have 4 world-class players. We have 1 in Palmer.
I'll say Caicedo too.
Okay.
Wouldn't even argue against
That's fine. You know what? Fine. I'll give Caicedo. We have 2 world-class players. They have 4.
But he's been balling in the Prem since Brighton days, so fair enough.
It's fine. So that's 2. They have 4 world-class players. Yeah. And also like Maresca's only had 1 season in management. I don't want to throw in a title race up against arguably the best manager of all time. I don't think that's fair.
That's my thing, because I know what I'm expecting for the title race. Use Conte as an example, going from 10th to 1st. Like, there wasn't even that much competition there in that season because Pep ended up dropping off towards a certain point. We just had to do our thing, and maybe Poch's Spurs were giving us a bit of an issue, but they were 10 points behind us. The closest they ever got to us was 4 points.
But even that
was when we had a fucked run.
Conte had 16 games on 16 straight wins.
Yeah, he went. I think through October to March, he only conceded 4 goals.
Most wins in a row.
But that winning run we went on, do people not remember? We lost to Swansea, and then a game or 2 later we lost to Arsenal. Do you not remember at that point that there was talk about?
And then
that was before the run.
And then after
that, Conte was still experimenting. He was doing 4-1, 4-1s. He was doing 4-2, 3-1.
Then we started winning. Then we started winning. We won 1 game, 2, 3, 4, and then we beat Man United. Was it 4-0 out of nowhere? Because we shouldn't have really battered them. That wasn't the expectation. And then I got to a point where, okay, we're going to win the league. And also, by the way, context.
Confidence started building from the 4-0 all the way towards City away. City away, I think a lot of people thought we could win it.
Title-winning squad, by the way. Courtois, title-winning keeper. You had Cahill, title-winning centre-back. David Luiz had won numerous titles and won a Champions League. Kante, title-winning midfielder at that time. Matic, title-winning midfielder. Cesc Fabregas, we all know what he's done in the game. We had Eden Hazard. Willian, title-winning winger. Pedro, you know what he's done in the game. Costa, title-winning.
Even then, the initial aim for that season, I think, was to get back into the top 4 because we had dropped off so far.
So if by November we're on this run and we've won like
right now we're on 4 wins on the bounce. We should have had 5 wins on the bounce in the league.
Yeah, because of Palace. Yes.
Yeah.
But we've also played teams. We have played the teams that we should be beating.
But yeah, we're gonna face Forest. That's gonna be. We're getting. I think we're easily winning that game. Or if not easily, we're gonna get at least 2 goals in that game. I think, and we'll win. That's 5 wins on the bounce. Liverpool. Now, if we beat Liverpool and won 6 wins on the bounce in the league, going into Newcastle at home, which I think we'd beat, that's 7 wins on the bounce. Why? That form is title-winning form.
You know what?
Take it to the Arsenal home game. Then maybe.
You know what? Like for me, right?
Then if you break the Old Trafford curse and then go to United, cool.
Yes,
to Arsenal,
that's what I wanted to go on. CB, after the international break, we have to go to Anfield. We have to play Man United at Old Trafford, and we've struggled against Man United for a very long time post-Fergie.
Yeah, that's the game that worries me the most.
And then we have to play Arsenal November 10th at the Bridge against their low block. For me, if this team can go to Anfield, maybe not even necessarily win, but if, like, say it's 1-1, but we clearly outclass Liverpool. If we batter that Man United side, because we should be, over the years, we should have been battering them. They're so bad. We batter Man United, and then we go face that Arsenal low block, and we beat them. I'll be looking at the team differently and thinking, hey, maybe we can actually go for the title. So that's why, again, that's my point of when I mentioned Atletico Madrid. Prove to me you guys can actually do it. Prove it. And that's the proof I would need.
There's a time will tell, but everyone keeps dwelling on that run. But after we face Arsenal, we've got Leicester, we've got Villa, we've got Southampton, Spurs, 3 points to me, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves. Then we've got City, West Ham, Brighton, Villa, Southampton again, Leicester, and Arsenal.
Yeah, but CB,
that run between from after we face Arsenal up until the end of January when we face City, I don't see no losses. We should win all of those games.
I hear you, CB, but the reason why Liverpool, United, Arsenal is so important is if we say we pick up 7 out of 9 in those games, that makes the rest of the run we have against those easy teams so much better. Because say we win all those games, and top of that 7 points, that helps strengthen your argument of, yes, we're actually in the title race. Do you know how much better we will feel? Say, beat Liverpool 1-0, beat Man United, say 3-4-0, and then draw 1-1 with Arsenal. Do you know how much better we will feel as Chelsea fans looking at this easy run we're coming up for 2 months, saying that we're actually in this title race?
We might actually believe it a bit more.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We need to get through these 5 games for sure.
Exactly. So again, as much as what I'm saying,
I think even if we don't, like, let's say we don't beat Liverpool, we beat United and we draw to Arsenal, and we still have that run of games, I think that's enough for us to still say we can push for a title.
I hear you, but I think I personally want to get something.
Also, a completely outside
Arsenal,
thing as well.
United.
Potential point deduction. Potential.
I don't think we're getting. I don't believe we're getting.
No, I don't know what to expect, and even if that's true or not. But we've heard enough rumblings, and we heard we hear something.
Listen, City are going to bust case. There's no way they're going to come for us. We're fine. But in terms of that, CB,
you're correct.
We need to get something from Liverpool. We need to get some. We need to beat Man United. We need to get something.
We need a state. What you're essentially saying? And
statement. Yes.
We need a statement win.
Yes. And going to Anfield and beating Liverpool, battering Man United, and then beating Arsenal is statement wins to show, yeah, we are that. Then once we get through that, then CB, you can come out and say we're actually going for this title, and I'll believe it. I think that's fair.
But do
All
you know, I
right,
think
go on.
I just think, for me, as a fan base, we need to uphold our standards. We've been in the mud for 2 years. Just because we've been in the mud for the last 2 years, it doesn't mean we don't belong at the very top. That's who we are. That's who we will always be. By God's grace, we'll just keep going. But I think the fact that we've been down and out, that comment even just said that BGMX, the fact that we're talking about winning the title after being two years in the mud, this just shows the standard of what we actually are. Yes. I agree. Like, the fact that we are even having these type of discussions, it makes me happy.
That's what I said numerous times. I ain't even trying to completely go against you on it. It's just I might join that train a little bit later.
I'm the sort of person that like I only want to have this title talk when I genuinely believe it. You know? Yeah. So again, you give me those 3 statements. I'm not saying we have to win 9. Win 7. Or sorry, give me 7 out of the 9 points, right? Or maybe 3, or maybe 6 out of the 9, but the loss is like one of those referees against us performances, but we actually perform well. Then I'll be like, I agree, we're actually in this title race. Let's go for it. But we have to, and
then like we'd actually be disappointed if we don't get
exactly. It. And that's the thing. The players also, like, if they want to go for this title, or if Maresca is behind the scenes saying we can go for this title, they need to put in those performances against Liverpool. They need to go to Anfield, win 1-0 or win 2-0, whatever, and then we can come out and say, yeah, Caicedo is one of the best midfielders in this league. Palmer is the best player in this league. Colwill is actually a quality centre back. All these, agendas Chelsea fans want to run with, get through those 3 games, and then we can actually say it with chest, and no one's going to laugh.
Yeah,
but that's what I think.
Yeah. Right, let me just go through a couple more of these super chats because these men have been waiting for a little bit. But big up to every single one of you as well. Cenac says, I think we've forgotten too long ago we couldn't figure out where our next goal's coming from. 2 seasons ago with Cole Palmer and Nkunku both staying. Facts, man. Like 2 seasons ago we were doing like 1 goal a month. Two months in a fucking row. Another example of how much we've leveled up over the last 2 years. But we still have plenty more of a road to go as well. Rich Moneymaker says, well done on 50K. I told you this coach is good. Bro, I was with you as well. Thank you as well for the good wishes. But I was with you too. Too early to cuss him out after 1 game. Way too early.
50K, Lewis, by the way. Well deserved.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
That's mental, man. Salute.
Now get to 100K.
So halfway there, though. Halfway there. We don't stop.
100 so you can start paying these panelists, man.
Yeah, real shit. Fucking real. Big up to Jill. No, he said I didn't read this one out, so I'll bring it out again. He said Jackson's got more GNA than Saka since the start of last season, and more non-penalty goals than Salah, Son, and Isak in this period. I use actual evidence. You don't. And like this is our thing with Jackson as well. Like the goals are improving. The all-round play is already there. It is just the consistency in front of goal. He does need to level that up a little bit, but that's it. And now we actually have other goal scorers that we can rely on. You can take the workload off him a little bit more. It's not that big of a problem like it was last season. Robert says Gyökeres is not 100 million better than Jackson in terms of Javon, but I mean he's also better. It's the same argument we had for Osimhen. Like if it's a better option for us, I'd just pay you the money.
I don't think Osimhen's better than Jackson though.
I think he's a better finisher. I
think for the time being, Osimhen is better. But I think Jackson, by the end of next season, he will prove why he is a world-class striker.
I think Osimhen is just a better aerial threat than Jackson. Other than that, I don't think he's not that good of a finisher. Yeah. Also, he missed a lot.
Well, actually, I don't watch enough Napoli to even say that. I've just guessed off his numbers.
I watch Osimhen. I think right now. And by the way, people know I rate Osimhen highly. Right now, I'll say kick off the stream. Oh, nice.
Oh, no, that was for the Palmer Hazard take from time ago. But shout out to Soliman. Big up for the donation anyway, my guy. I appreciate you.
Palmer Hazard take?
No, because we were debating earlier, and CB was saying I think Palmer was already better than Hazard. Was that the one, or am I miswording it?
No, I said Palmer it will be better than Hazard. I was basically saying that in terms of
will be better.
I said in terms of goal scoring and just the impact of him carrying the team. I think he's a better goal scorer than Hazard already right now. I think the way the impact he has on the team is a better impact considering that Hazard played with way better players than Palmer's had the last 2 years. And I think creatively he can talk to Hazard. He's not there yet, but we can't say he's better than him based on the fact that he ain't won no trophies yet. So when he wins the trophies, I will open that dialogue further.
You know what? I'm all here for
The argument's future. God willing, you're correct. Because like that means Palmer's fucking leveled up even from the level that he's at now.
Look, I'm always here for fat side slanders. I agree, man.
Whatever, man. Big up Prime though. Shout out to CNAC saying, I understand you Brits are excited about having a true world-class player for England finally, but keep Hazard's name out of your mouth. CP's not there yet. Not there yet. But like the argument that he could be at that level soon, I'm not going to argue that one down because I look at the trajectory Palmer's on. It's not even crazy to say that as a potential in the future. And I want that to be correct too. Soliman says Palmer can't pick up the ball, dribble the whole field and score. Yeah, my disagreement was he's not the playmaker that Hazard is right now or the dribbler.
I think, Hazard's definitely a better dribbler. He's generational dribbler. In terms of creator, what other than dribbling, obviously that plays a part in creating. Do you think he's a better passer than him? Like the way that Palmer can drop deep and just drop a line breaker, I don't know if Palmer can do it. I mean,
it's not even to take down from what Palmer can do because he is great creatively, but Hazard can definitely do that. Like, I think it's just been let down because like we've had so many bad finishes at the club in the time that he was there. Like the amount of wasted chances that this guy had was fucking mental. He made 88 chances in 17-18 in the league, got 4 assists, only 4 assists. So like I believe he can create from deep. He can create from the final third. He can create from the left-hand side, from the right-hand side. Like he's a multi-talented creator. So we didn't have a talented finisher like that.
I think Hazard could easily have, I think Hazard was either 18-19. I think it was 18-19. That season, the amount of chances he created, I think he could have broken the assist record if he had better forwards playing with him.
Yes,
yeah, but you gotta say this,
the chances he created for Willian and Morata that they constantly kept squandering.
No, this is not genuine.
No, hold on. In saying this though, Palmer, just the last game alone, easily could have got a hat-trick of assists if Jackson could finish. So I think they're both like quality players. They're both different though profiles. Like Palmer could never drop deep and just pick up the ball and drag it up the field. But then there are things Palmer does that Hazard can't do. Like the way Palmer is just so like goal hungry. Hazard has never been that. I've seen Hazard dribble through
that's literally what I'm saying.
4 players and then he just squares it for no reason. So I think they're just very different players. They're very different.
But I think though, in terms of if you gave like Hazard at the end of the day played with Pedro, Diego Costa, Willian. I rate Willian highly. Some reason the fan base don't rate him, but I rate Willian highly. That's better than the front threes that Palmer's played with in these 2 years as well.
Yeah, but Hazard also played with Morata. He played with Willian at the end of his career when he was finished. Pedro again was the finished version of him. He played with Higuain. Like, are we like? Let's just be honest. Jackson's better than Higuain and Morata and Batshuayi.
You know, at the start, like Torres was hella wasteful, and Eto'o was only good in the home games. I don't think he scored an away goal for us.
I think it's arguable, but again, I would love Cole Palmer to be better than Hazard because that means that Chelsea will win a lot more than what Hazard won with us. So I'm happy. I'll be happy either way.
A shout out to AP as well. Says, bro, that's very disrespectful to Hazard. Palmer's only done it for 14 months. Hazard's done it for 6 to 7 years. I don't even think it's like necessarily disrespectful because it's not really a disrespect to Hazard still. But I don't agree with it yet. Like we're projecting the next 5 or so years for Cole Palmer, and on the trajectory, cool. It's not even crazy. As for now, no. As for now, he's nowhere near it. Also says, by you guys' logic, you'd think Salah is better than Hazard.
No, it doesn't mean that.
No.
So why do they love doing
Salah is nowhere near the creator of either of them.
You know what's funny, right? Listen, Liverpool fans, I will give you that Salah is better than Hazard if you can be honest with me and say Lampard is better than Gerrard.
Exactly.
No, they use that same argument for us, but in reverse.
No, but with Lampard,
I'd rate
though,
Hazard over Salah. You can't rate Lampard over Gerrard.
but
They always try and
Lampard,
run
though,
that with us.
but Lampard actually has everything, though. He has the numbers. He has the big game performances. He also has the eye test. Lampard has also played in different positions as well. He wasn't the second striker that people want to class him as. Lampard was not Bruno. Lampard was one of the best players in the world in an era
on the same table
where
as
you
Iniesta and that. But that's
I don't think that's a bad take. Lampard does sit with Iniesta, Xavi, Modric. He sits with them. He does.
Yeah.
Gerrard does not.
Gerrard sits with them. They both do.
No one's gonna like this. Gerrard in this league was not better than Michael Carrick. He is one of the most disrespected midfielders.
Yeah.
He's not better than John Obi Mikel. Lampard is overrated because he played for Liverpool and because of a Champions League comeback final. That's why they rate him. He's never been that level of midfield. Let's just be honest, please.
I can't believe you said Mikel.
Mikel was criminal, but I'm not gonna step on
that.
I love Gerrard slander. I love Gerrard slander, though.
But no, here's the thing. I'm not slandering. It'd be slander if I said Scott Parker's better than Gerrard. I'm not slandering Gerrard. John Obi Mikel, Michael Carrick, better than him. Better. Factually.
Mikel's got a league title. I hear it. What was it? Because I'm not going to. I ain't taking down one of our legends for Gerrard.
I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not going to say nothing. If you said Essien, though, I would have.
I don't. But again, Essien's obviously better than Gerrard. That's like 2 + 2 is 4, man. Let's not. I'm talking about the players that don't get the credit. Carrick and John Obi Mikel better. That's not an argument to have. Yaya Toure better. It's not an argument. Gundogan better. Not an argument.
Do you know what's fucked? Yeah, you can even say with the Liverpool fans. Yeah, Gerrard's not even their greatest captain. Henderson is.
He's not.
Oh yeah. That argument's easy.
That's the maddest thing.
Ayan said Scholes. Scholes is clear of Gerrard. That's not it's not a discussion to have. 2 + 2 is 4.
Scholes might be the best one of them all. If you want to call it a buck.
He is the best one of them all. I love Lampard.
Scholes isn't better than Lampard.
Bro, I'm saying Scholes is better than Lampard, but I might be biased because Scholes is one of my favorite ever midfielders. So I might be biased there.
For me, I love midfielders. That's my
midfielders. We're saying with Gerrard, he only gets hyped because he played for Liverpool, and Liverpool are part of the red cartel in the league. If Lampard did for Chelsea at Man United or Liverpool or Arsenal, they'd be calling him a Premier League goal. Let's just be real.
Not wrong.
None of the great, scoring consistently 20+ goals for years. Zidane didn't do that. Xavi, Iniesta, Modric, all these greats have not done this.
And they all played alongside each other. That's the thing. That man had super teams.
Bro.
Lampard was carrying the team. We used to
Lampard was going to the new camp against prime Barcelona, a man down, and dominating that midfield at an old age. I've not seen Gerrard do anything that impressive. I don't care about that comeback against that Milan side. I'm so.
And if you actually look at that Milan comeback, the refereeing decisions was criminal. There was an offside flag wave that they ignored. It was mental, but it is what it is. But in terms of Lampard, I think Lampard generally sits with the likes of Iniesta and Xavi.
He does.
So the only reason why he's not there is it's international football at the end of the day, and them lot all played with each other.
And do you know why international football didn't work? Because they kept trying to force Gerrard and Lampard to play together. When the smart thing to do would have been play Carrick in midfield, play Carrick and Scholes, or play a 3 in midfield, and don't call up Gerrard for England in general because he's not a true winner. I'll be this whole hype of Gerrard. If Gerrard played for Chelsea, people would be calling him overrated. People slander Chelsea's legends because it's Chelsea and people don't like us. But if Chelsea's legends did it at Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, they'd be getting praise. It's the same reason why City's players get praise or get slandered, because it's City and people don't like it.
Just to touch on the Iniesta point again, Iniesta and even Modric maybe with Tottenham though, they have never been the best players in their team. Lampard was the best player in his prime. He was the best player in the team for at least 8 to 9 years. Iniesta was never the best player in the team. He played alongside Ronaldinho in his prime, and then he played with Messi, and then Neymar, then Suarez, and so forth. He was never the best player in his team. They didn't turn to Iniesta for the answers. He was part of the system and helped them tick. Lampard in his prime was straight. We looked for Lampard to deliver for us, and he did it time and time again.
That was our bagsman.
Oh, and by the way, can I
also
say this, right? Now we're on this. The slander that Drogba gets because of his goal record, right? People realize that Lampard took pens. If Drogba took pens at Chelsea, like his goals a season would have gone from like 10 to 20 quite easily. And all of a sudden,
I think he ends up about 10 goals off Henry or something like that.
Exactly, just on pens.
Yeah,
Are we gonna, and that's
30
crazy because if he gets those pens, all of a sudden people are saying, "Oh, look at Drogba, this all-time great of a striker. Is he better than Henry?" But because he doesn't have them, all of a sudden that Vardy's better than him. Like, let's not be stupid here, please.
I hear it. Big up to King Deuce saying, big up, fellas. Lewis, which match is tougher, Liverpool or Arsenal? For me, it's Liverpool just because we're going away. At least Arsenal, you got the home advantage. That and as well, Arsenal have a fuck run of games before they play us. Like, they've got Liverpool at home or away. Then they got Newcastle. Then they've got Inter away. And then they play us. So that's
Arsenal game for me. Arsenal game for me is bigger because, like, we're never going to face... There's still question marks of whether we can break down a low block. People still have. Beating that Arsenal side...
We can answer that before the game.
Ultimate low block. I don't think so, because you're not facing a defense like that unless we're playing
That's the best.
That's
the thing. We're only going to play a defense like that once or twice. The rest will be like teams like Forest.
I agree, but everyone will still have that question mark of us. That's why, for me, you beat Arsenal, and then there's no more questions of whether can you break down a low block, which I think is stupid to keep having that question, by the way. But
also, there's no question whether we can handle the top teams or not. For me,
Arsenal,
Forest home, if we have a convincing win in that game, we've already proven it.
Exactly. And beating Liverpool and Arsenal, two title challengers, or, well, whether people think Liverpool are title challenger, I don't know. But beating two of them answers the question of can we actually title challenge? That's why, for me, I need to see that first before I put all my eggs in that basket. But yeah, listen, Gerrard, man, you should have won a Premier League. You didn't. It's not my fault. I don't believe Gerrard's a Premier League great, by the way, as well. Let me just put that out there.
Too far.
I don't think it is.
Too far.
It's not too
right. Shout out to Ian.
For me, you have to win the Prem to be a Premier League great.
Prem is a criminal. Prem is a criminal.
Yeah. I think you have to win. I think you have to win the Prem to be a Premier League great. For me, to be in the conversation to be a Premier League great, you have to win a Prem. I'll just be honest. That's my metric.
No, fairs, but I mean that's taking out a lot of legendary players.
Yeah, but
a man like Harry Kane, bro.
Yeah, but you have to be there. You have to do it for a reason.
Like that though, but
these
are international.
I like Letizia and all that. I don't think Letizia won the league either.
Lewis,
these are the conversations you have at international break, man.
No, but Lewis, Juan Mata is one of my favorite. Juan Mata is one of my favorite players, right? He's one of my my favorite players to play for Chelsea.
Yep.
By my metric, he's not a Premier League. He's not a GOAT. He's not a legend because he's not won it. That's me I'm being honest by my metric, and I love Mata. So it's not a bias thing. It's not a slander thing. It's just my metric. I've got to be honest.
I hear that, but there's anomalies. There's always anomalies.
I've got to jump off, yeah.
And
yo, big up anyway, man. It weren't meant to go on for this one, but I appreciate you hopping on anyway, man. Big up, Stevie. Everyone sub to his channel immediately. Links in the description. Can I still put it on? Yeah.
Big up,
big up, bro. Speaking to you. I hope we get to speak more often, bro.
We're gonna talk after this next run of games. We're gonna talk, innit?
Oh no, we will.
Right, let me get this out.
Yeah.
Best up, bro. Take care, bro. Where's the fucking link, bro? I had it up here.
But everyone keeps saying that.
The link's in the description anyway, guys. You lot know what to do. I
don't get what I'm saying is like wild. I'm not even slandering. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, you're being honest. I'll give you that. There it is. Fucking hell, there it is. Right, yeah. Link is in.
Bro,
link is in the chat now.
Everything I've said, I've not laughed once. If I was slandering, I would have laughed by now. I'm not laughing.
Maybe just got a really good poker face.
you know me long enough. I would have broke by now, bro. Come on.
You've had years of experience at this point. I'll tell you that.
Bro, I've had.
Sure, I am though.
Wait, someone said, "Is Shinji Kagawa a Premier League?" Like, no, he's not. But Shinji Kagawa has won a Premier League. So if
he's
Kagawa
trying to say
has,
like you have as a minimum to have won the league, and even that might not be enough.
Vardy has done great things in the Premier League. His goal scoring records and all of that. So has Harry Kane. If we're gonna put them both in the conversation of Premier League legends or ghosts or whatever that name you want to call it, who has won the Prem to even try and be in that consideration? Vardy has, Kane hasn't. And Harry Kane, I love Kane. I wanted him at Chelsea. I think he's been one but I just have to be honest about what it is. We can't do this, man. At least it's my metric, and I'm consistent with my metric. I'm not gonna flip flop and put is Kane not also? I'm not gonna flip flop and put Mata in there, even though I love him, but he hasn't won it. Like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not.
All right, cool. Let's get through these super chats quick. Big up to Ian saying, I would say they're both equally gifted. Can't compare them both different times to different players. I'm just happy Hazard and Palmer play for us. Yeah, for now, it's like Hazard's clear of Palmer. If we want to make the debate that Palmer could eventually overtake him, maybe. I won't talk that one down, but he's on the trajectory for it. He's just on the trajectory for it now. He also says, why are we talking in tile challenge? It's top 4 to focus on. We're not there yet. Maybe next season. Calma. I get where CB is coming from in the case of with Chelsea. We should have those expectations, but I'm not putting myself in that sort of position until I'm at a point where I'd be disappointed if we didn't win the league. That's when I believe we're title contenders. Because you look at Arsenal, they're disappointed if they don't win the league. City, they're disappointed if they don't win the league. One of them's going to be disappointed at the end of the season. If we don't win the league this season, I'm not going to be disappointed. If we get to that point, brilliant. Brilliant. Because that's how we know we've already gone levels up of where we should have been before. But, we've been going for nearly 3.5 hours. I didn't even expect it to go this long, but this is the beauty of live streaming, which just goes hella off topic, and we love to see it. Prime, big up for hopping on. Shout out to Guni, CB, Joey. Shout out to Javon. Shout out to everybody that's hopped into the stream as well. What's tomorrow? Hate what? No, not the hate watch. It's the watch along. It's a Conference League watch along. So Chelsea versus Ghent. Chelsea versus Ghent. We will be here. We'll be live from 6:30. So keep a lookout for that. As you'll know, live streams. I gotta head out quickly, but yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. Who's live that we like? Dan Potts. Dan Potts is live. Right, come on. Send everyone over there. Big up to Talent. Big up to Talent, man. One last super chat. Big up, bro. Says, big up, Lewis, man. Let's not debate this on this. Prime Hazard is nobody to defeat. Palmer is class and quality, but he's young. Give him time, etc. Oh, this isn't even my argument, by the way. Like CB was bringing the debate to the chat, and it's not even in a way to discredit Hazard. He was just having the conversation because it would be better to have it in-house. Prime Hazard's clear. Hazard is clear for now. Whether Palmer overtakes him or not, we'll see. I ain't going to act like he's not on the trajectory to do it. What he's doing in the last 18 months has been fucking ridiculous. But you just got to keep doing it. Keep doing it until it becomes the standard. And we're very close to that being the standard for him. But yeah, I'm going to send you guys over to Dan Potts. Everybody just spam what a UCL. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Big up everybody and up the Chelsea.